My wife's religion is controlling our home, and I'm terrified for our children.
Oh no.
This is really hard for me to write since I have no idea how I'm feeling. I'm 24 male and my wife is 22 female. We now have some issues that have arisen, mainly on my end. Before I continue, please be open-minded when you read this. By the way, this comes from X Phantom Wing X, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. I married my wife when she was Jehovah's Witness. I'll be honest, at that time I didn't even know what that was. I've heard of them, but I thought they were some kind of crazy cult people. Well, they kind of are actually. Scratch that, they are. Anyways, I was the reason my wife got disfellowed, which practically means out. Her family cut contact with her. She was not my girlfriend yet, but we liked each other. One thing led to another. She got pregnant. By the way, she was 18 and I was 20, young. I know, stupid brain. At this time, we moved in together. Her family had no contact, and only my family was supporting her. Her family would reach out and say mean things, like I would leave her and make her a single parent. But time passed, and we had my daughter. A couple of months after that, my wife wanted to get married. I loved her, and I decided to pull the trigger and get married. I learned my wife was interested in getting back with her religion. Now, I'm not religious in any way. Obviously, I was like, why would you want to go back? Your family abandoned you. But she wanted contact with her family because she felt alone and hurt. I was hurt myself that she was feeling this way, but I let her join because to me, I believe you're allowed to do what you want. If you wish to be religious, then go ahead. We've been married for 3 years. I did make a rule that I didn't want my daughter practicing that religion, that I wanted her to make her own choice. But my wife and her family influence it regardless of my wishes, and I've stated this multiple times. But this isn't the reason why I wrote this. Recently, my child had to get surgery, just their tonsils. The doctor spoke to me and my wife about the process. Once the doctor finished, he said, there can be bleeding, and if so, would you want to give blood? I said yes. My wife said no. We looked at each other. The doctor said, do you want your daughter to pass away by bleeding out? My wife's response was, I'm a Jehovah's Witness, and I'd rather you use the 4 components of blood as a substitute. I was stunned by this, and I told the doctor if blood was needed, I'll gladly give mine. The doctor seemed confused and said, okay, and left. Now, I know about this already. It wasn't brand new to me about blood. I brushed it off, but it hit harder when it was my own daughter, and I genuinely got scared. Now, this is the first time she did this. A year ago, I fractured my femur pretty bad, an 8-month recovery. At the hospital, when I was taken by an ambulance, I passed out. When I woke up, I saw my wife. My doctor came by and asked me that if there were a complication with the surgery, was I okay to get blood? My wife interjected and said no on my behalf.
Whoa.
And she said the same thing. I'm a Jehovah's Witness. I told the doctor I wanted blood if it was possible.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm not. Please, give me the blood that I need.
And not to listen to my wife, and I signed off on it. That scared me. I could possibly pass away due to her beliefs being pushed onto me in the hospital, and it scared me more when it was my daughter. I don't know what to do. I truly love my wife. She's smart, funny, and beautiful, but I don't know if I can do this marriage. We're having another child, and I'm happy about having another baby, but I'm afraid if I leave that she will push her religious teachings on my children. My wife, her family, and friends tell my daughter, no, birthdays are bad. Holidays are bad, etc. And I get angry and tell them to stop. I feel so bad for my daughter and my next child to deal with this. My wife tells me about her life. She was raised in it, and it sounds like she was in a cage her whole life. And I don't want that for my kids. I don't think I was ready for all of this in a marriage, and I know we are young. I just find this extremely hard to deal with. I forgot they're 22 and 24.
Oh my
That's
God.
already young, and now you have like this.
Yeah.
Is a lot.
This is so much. That is just so wild. Like, it's one thing. It has its own difficulties to like have different religions in
Especially
in a
with one that's
relationship.
so extreme like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, But it's a whole nother thing to have different religions when one person is like not religious at all and the other person is a Jehovah's Witness.
I'm surprised that she's even allowed to be married to a non-religious person.
Right? Because I mean, she did get booted out.
Right.
But
for like being interested in him.
Yeah. But then the fact that like, I feel like, I mean, I know he was like so young when it happened, but like that's gotta be a sign that like, it's not that she wanted to leave the religion. Like it makes sense that she wanted to go back. Like, so messy.
By the way, at this time, I'm extremely close with her family now, but they didn't like me beforehand. Has anyone been through this? Does anyone know how to navigate this? Commenter 1. You got married and had kids while you were far too young and extremely uninformed and ignorant. You married someone in a religion with a lot of unusual beliefs and you weren't even interested enough to find out what those were. Now you're having a second child while unsure about your marriage. I'm gonna be quite frank here. You need to grow up and quickly get on top of this. You need to have an open conversation with your wife about expectations and boundaries and healthcare. And you need to get them approved and in writing. Your wife has already proved she's willing to put your daughter or you in danger for her beliefs. If she's not willing to be flexible on this, you need to talk to an attorney immediately. You are an adult, and if you want to make a dumb decision to not have a medical directive and pass away because your wife can make decisions for you, that's fine. But you need to protect your children, not only from members of a religion that some people described as a cult, but also from literally passing away due to their mother preventing them from accessing very normal health care. Comment 2. Being worried that your partner's beliefs are going to harm your children is 100% a valid reason to leave the relationship. And you're right to be worried about them shoving their religion down your kids' throats. Many religious people think that their cause is of ultimate importance, and therefore they can ignore any and every protest to them converting someone. It's extremely annoying. You need to get in contact with a divorce lawyer and ask them about ways you can get custody of the kids if things go south. Once you do that, I hate that I'm about to say this, but you may need to give your wife, her family, and her friends an ultimatum. Let your kids discover religion on their own terms or no more access to the kids. Or, in the case of your wife, divorce, and you'll be fighting for custody. And we have an update. I read the comments, and I don't appreciate the advice given. Thank you so much. Now I just want to answer some questions, but before I do, please do not message me privately to tell me not to abandon my faith and to grow my faith. Oh my God, was it a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses going after him in the comments? This isn't his faith.
That's
he
crazy.
Never believed in this.
He's not abandoning anything.
There's no faith to grow.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not religious in any way, and all this does is push me away. Now to the comments. Yes, my wife was raised Jehovah's Witness from birth, so breaking her from the mold that was built for her is most likely not going to work, sadly. When she met me, she was kicked out or disfellowed. We had a child while she was kicked out, but I believe the reason we are married was to help her be reinstated to her congregation. Some asked why I didn't do research on her religion/cult. Well, because I've never met a Jehovah's Witness before, and I thought they really weren't real until my wife. Yes, they are extremely weird and crazy. I've gotten to know some of these people, and yes, they are extremely kind, but they believe their ideals are the right way, and that the harm they cause isn't real harm. Now, I do love my wife, but after my daughter's surgery, it really shocked and scared me and made me realize this isn't a safe environment for me or my children. I do love her, and I don't blame her because this is all she knows. But just because that's what she believes doesn't mean it's right. Some asked me to give my medical situations to someone else, not my wife. I already have this in place. After my surgery, I told my parents. They also felt uncomfortable and said that they were scared that she would have done the same to me. So I got a paper with them that they control my medical situations, so I am safe in that regard. And by the way, I'm gonna control letting you guys know that you can listen to more episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Search up OK Storytime. I don't want to abandon my wife. I do love her. It's just her beliefs are causing this rift, and I will not stand for my kids to be hurt. I will try to communicate to see if there's common ground somewhere. I will try therapy as well, but she's so deeply rooted, I don't know if that will work, but I'm going to try. I will also seek lawyer help to cover all my options for me and my children. I forgot to add that the reason I believe this won't work is because my wife's father and brother are elders, which makes it extremely difficult to try to convince my wife to back down. It's the end of that story. Dang.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So her family is like high in that.
Yeah. Oh, this is crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Dude, don't get with someone that's
Check out
Jehovah's
their
Witness.
religion first. Like, if
Yeah.
you're gonna marry someone that's literally coming from a religion that you consider a cult,
Yeah.
and you're not looking into that, and then you're
Literally.
getting married.
Like, there's no way that you just thought, like, oh, yeah, I just thought there was, like, a weird cult.
Yeah,
And
they're
then
not
just you
real.
brush that off. That's not something you
Right.
brush off.
We got married after that.
Right.
Yes. So
No,
if
no,
anything,
no.
this is a lesson. Look into the religions you're marrying,
Look
because they
into
might
it.
go back to them.
My husband let his ex-wife control our marriage and never stood up for me.
You're supposed to let your current wife control your marriage.
I, 26, have been married to my husband, 27, for 4 years, and he has a child, 6, from a previous relationship. The kiddo stays with the baby mama in a different province. By the way, this comes from Molly Wobbles. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, right, so on to the current issue. Baby mama has, for as long as I have known my hubby, been a bit of a problem. I'll give you several examples. Lied about the kiddo being deathly ill and on life support. Provided a fake hospital bill in regard to the above. Lied to my father-in-law about hubby paying child support, so she was receiving money from both my hubby and father-in-law. Lied to both my father-in-law and I about hubby knocking her up again when she visited previously. Lied to my in-laws about hubby hiding the kiddo's birth certificate. Performs every few months about how she cannot manage and is sending the kiddo to live with us. Demands money on top of the child support she is receiving. That's just a few things off the top of my head. I tried speaking to hubby today, and I basically told him that he needs to grow a spine. Because she truly does take advantage at times, and he got upset with me and said that I'm disrespectful. The kiddo's school fees and child support are paid every single month without fail, yet she always demands more. Hubby always gives in, even if it negatively affects us. I'm not saying that he shouldn't support his child, as he should do that. My issue is that she cannot hold a job, and even when she has one, the tantrums and emergencies never stop. It's never a request for help, it's always a demand. When I used to give advice, he told me that I'm not a parent, so I don't know anything. Lately, if I speak up or try to help, he gets annoyed with me and says I have no way of speaking. He refuses to grow a backbone when it comes to her, and I've had it up to the end of time with this behavior from both of them. He still cannot understand that she is taking advantage of him. I have told hubby many times not to involve me because it is a constant topic of contention. Time and time again, I have broken that boundary to comfort him or listen to him vent. I'm tired of being made out to be the bad guy that knows nothing. Now he is salty about it. Am I the a-hole? And there are some comments. What do you think, though?
It doesn't seem like you'd be
No.
the a-hole.
I mean, yes, it is his kid, so obviously he's going to be defensive, but you're not even saying, like, I don't know, don't do this and this for your kid. You're just saying, hey, your wife or your ex-wife is lying to you or has been lying to you, is taking your money. Maybe we need to set some boundaries there. Would probably benefit his kid. Yeah, I don't know. I think he needs to go back to court and work out that, custody agreement, because if she can't even support her kid on the child support stuff that she's, been getting and can't hold down a job, maybe she shouldn't have him like full time. Or I actually don't know if she has him full time.
Yeah, but
But
definitely document. Always document this stuff.
comments. Comment 1 says, question, how are your finances split? OP says household expenses are split between us. The only thing separate is payment for his child. Reply says, I think the question is, do you have a joint account? Does your full payment go into only one shared account, or do you deposit the house expenses and others after you know how much is it to share? OP says we have separate accounts and divide bills. Reply says, so is he contributing his share to the household but sending money to his ex out of his own personal account? If that's the case, you should probably let it be. If he's slacking on joint expenses, including contributions for retirement, long-term goals, then you have an issue to take up. Edit 1. Many people are assuming that I have an issue with the kiddo, and I genuinely do not. I love her so much, and she is not the issue. I'm tired of being unheard and treated like an idiot because I did not give birth. Birth mother is constantly disrespectful to my hubby, and it becomes an issue for us. When I said I'm no longer wanting to be involved, I meant taking my emotional support away from hubby because he turns any support into something negative. Edit 2, thank you to everyone for your input. I am not pregnant, so I do not know where that came from. The main issue is not financial support because he should support his child. My issue is that he lets baby mama bully him and by extension me. Whenever she asks for extra money, it's often for silly things and she never gives warning. He just started a new job after being unemployed for 2 months, and I needed help at home because I carried everything alone. When she asks and he sends money, it has opened a new pattern. I needed more help than I'm getting, and I don't think it's fair that he complains endlessly but brushes me off. I love him, but she has such control over him, and I'm tired of being ignored. By the way, you shouldn't ignore the fact that we have full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Well, yeah, I think that those comments were kind of missing the point where it's not really about like, oh, we need the money. It's more just like the principle of like, why is this person, I don't know, able to just manipulate and bully you into things?
It's just, I feel like if your partner had any friend or person in their life, family member who was constantly bullying them, constantly taking advantage, you'd probably have something to say. And maybe you've never been in that experience, you know, or like had that experience, but you still know enough to know that they're being taken advantage of and that they don't like this situation they're in. So obviously OP's going to try and help. And the fact that he's just like, no.
Apparently he loves being in this situation.
Yeah, I guess so. But there is a little bit left to the story. 2-year later update. Dang.
Ooh, boy.
Let's see what happens. We are now divorced.
I
guess you couldn't cut it. And everything was finalized this week. Dang. All of my belongings were removed from our marital home yesterday. After being married for 6 years, I'm hurt and broken. Still, I am confident this was the right decision. I realized that 90% of being with him was manipulation and control. On to his child, he still has not done a paternity test. He has no contact with the child and her mother except for paying child support. That's where things stand now. I'm sorry this update took so long. Comments. Comment 1 says, how come there's a question about him being the father? You always have to put yourself first. Can you imagine what having a baby with him would have been like? A massive headache and resentment. OP says the baby was conceived over a one-night stand when she was seeing other people.
Oh.
So yeah, that baby is not his.
Might not be.
Yeah, and he really was being taken advantage of the whole time, and OP was trying to tell him, hey, you're being taken advantage of.
Yeah, I wonder if you're the only person who's being reached out to.
Yeah, she's reaching out to all of the people. I'm grateful that I don't have children with him, as mean as that may sound. Doesn't sound mean. It's just a good thing. But I can't imagine having gone through everything if we had a child. Comment 2 says, but wasn't going no contact with baby mama basically what you had been demanding the whole time? OP says, no. I was demanding he step up and stop letting her bully him and try to bully her way into our lives. Comment 3 says, honestly, girl, good riddance. Your page is like 90% complaining about him, and it goes back years. Seems like this has been a long time coming. Better late than ever. You're still young. You'll bounce back from this. If you ever need any reassurance you're doing the right thing, just go back and scroll through your posts.
My sister turned my baby's announcement into her moment and refused to apologize.
Get your own baby announcement.
Some background. I, 33 female, had a really hard birth. It was long. When I was in labor, my sister, 31 female, showed up with road and tried to feed me a margarita. She said it was water, which I wasn't impressed with right off the top.
Ew.
By the way, this comes from Icy Forever 3220, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And this is Jonya. And we are here to give you some good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers. We only want to tell you what we would do in this situation. So tell us what you would do in the comments. As OP says, that aside, I was out of it right after I delivered. Because of my high fever, I wasn't making sense or talking sentences. Oh, My sister snapped a picture of my daughter, still covered in afterbirth, and an unflattering picture of me, not coherent, and immediately posted to social media without mine or my husband's permission. Oh.
Yeah, no.
Yikes. That's not kind.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this was at almost 3 a.m.
What the
And
heck?
I had been in labor since 8 a.m. the previous day. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Sorry. When I confronted her, when one of my friends reached out to congratulate me, I was really confused, only to find out my sister made an announcement that our baby girl arrived before we did. Yeah, that's kind of crappy. I don't like that.
What is her problem?
I reposted her post only to delete it an hour later. I reposted because I felt backed into a corner. Oh, and wasn't totally thinking clearly. Okay. I was really upset and confronted her. I blunt from not being totally with it, from the infection and the meds I was on. She flipped and said I was stupid, etc. I said if she was going to treat me like that, she didn't have a place in our daughter's life. Ooh. We both said some really mean things and ended the conversation. The next day, I apologized because it didn't sit well with me, and I felt it wasn't who I am to even fight like that. Well, it's not, OP, because you were drugged.
Yeah, you were like literally on a bunch of different things and also like dealing with an infection and just gave birth.
Yeah. Given I never got an apology at all, I apologized a week later face to face when my daughter was admitted to the NICU.
NICU. Yeah.
No. What's wrong? It was her first time seeing or holding our daughter, and we both agreed to move forward, and I apologized profusely. Her birthday was close. And even though we weren't talking, really, or in the best place, I got her a spa pass, etc. to make sure she could relax and have a great day. Oh, what a great gift.
That is really nice.
Oh,
I feel like she should get you the spa pass. Again, you just gave birth.
That's true. Fast forward a few months ago, she texted me and was making small talk. She brought up the picture, and I stood my ground and said I'm still upset, and she was wrong. She didn't ask. She posted our daughter before we could, and on top of that, we didn't really want to post our daughter at all other than a welcome announcement. I felt like she took that away and expressed how I felt in the most respectful way possible. I apologized again for hurting her feelings and saying it was never my intention. She said she posted because she was an excited aunt, and it was my fault. I ruined her relationship with my daughter, and she can never be excited because I'll just remove my daughter from her life. I said I have no friends, and I was effed in the head. She called me a bad mom and a self-absorbed person. Said I didn't take responsibility for my part. She also said she feels sorry for my daughter because she won't be raised right, and my husband that has to put up with me, etc. Her calling me a bad mom like 6 weeks postpartum as a first-time mom really, really messed with me mentally as well. I thought for a while I was a horrible mother.
Ugh, that's so scary.
That is.
Like, you just had a baby. You're already nervous. You're already overthinking everything. Yeah. And then you have, like, one of the clearly, like, important people in your life come to you and affirm that thought.
Yeah. You just, like, didn't want that, like, your business to get out. It's your business to tell. That's such a big moment, especially being your first big moment. Like, this is going to change your life. Yeah. Why she thought that it would be okay to be like, I'm going to post. Like, I get you're excited and everything, but, like, I don't know. Like, you gotta give some slack. I mean, it's just, I don't know. And the fact that she's not even like, it's not my fault. I was just excited. Like, I gave birth that day. No, what do you mean?
There's absolutely no, there's just, she's taking no accountability.
Yeah. And that's just horrible to say those things.
Yeah.
Now our daughter is almost 5 months old, and my sister's missed a lot. The longer she's gone, the more red flags I see. I don't have to walk on eggshells or hear it's just how she is from my parents when she says some out-of-pocket mean thing or does something really rude. She vents to my parents and says it's all my fault, and she goes as far as throwing fits if I even indirectly see my parents if she's around. Drop off my dog, for example, but did it when she wasn't even home. We still aren't speaking, and I recently tried to extend an olive branch with the holidays coming up. She says she doesn't want to see me, and she's mad because I didn't apologize enough and gave a half-butted apology. In all honesty, it makes it extremely difficult because my parents don't point out any bad behavior or just give excuses like, she's always been a mean girl. Or she's an adult, nothing I can do.
That's crazy. And also very, clear sign of bad parenting to be like, but she's always been mean.
Well, she's just
Couldn't do anything about that. Oh, consequences right now? Give her consequences as an adult? No.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that either.
She's just mean. Give her some slack.
Yeah, she just kind of sucks.
I know you had birth and you're 6 weeks postpartum, but
everyone knows your sister sucks.
Yeah. You know what she is.
Yeah.
Stop being angry. The longer this goes on, the more red flags I see when it comes to my sister. Also, the more mad I get at her for making herself a victim in this. I'm at the point that I don't want my daughter seeing her because I don't want her to learn my sister's behavior and think it's acceptable. Honestly, that's very valid.
Yeah.
Or worse, see her treat me like garbage and my daughter to think she can treat me like that. Am I the a-hole if my sister never has a relationship with our daughter? Any advice of what you do would be greatly appreciated.
No, you're not the a-hole. I think that's very, smart to consider. And it really sucks that your daughter's not going to have a relationship with her aunt. But,
but
isn't
that's her own
really,
fault.
yeah, it's her choices that she's making.
She has decided that, she said, yeah, I know what I did, but, you know me.
Yeah.
That's
too
not
bad.
okay. Okay, so I just have to be okay when you're mean.
Yeah.
And then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then you also get to see my daughter, no.
Yeah, there are
it's just not-
consequences, and OP's sister is finding that out.
Yeah. And that's just not cool, sis. There are some comments. Comment number 1. Stop apologizing to her. She clearly was in the wrong in this situation. When you apologize, her behavior becomes acceptable. She degraded you. When you in postpartum, your relationship with her will never be the same unless she changes profusely, which I doubt. She is a self-absorbed person. Your parents should be ashamed of themselves for never correcting her growing. Don't let her ruin what is really important, which is your child and husband. By the way, you know what's important for you guys? For you to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search OK Storytime. And you'll see everyone's bright, shiny face. That was terrifying. Glad we were all on the same page. There's an update. Should we just get into it?
Yeah.
Let's
do it.
Update. I want to thank everyone for being really kind and putting things into perspective. Makes me feel like I'm not totally crazy. I've taken some advice you all gave me, and I'm going to start therapy. I will not be mending any bridges anymore. I'm grieving who I wanted her to be and not who she actually has become. Yes. My focus now is just on my family, my healing, and being the best version of myself for my daughter. The end. I think, OP, that's good. I think you going to therapy about it, I think will really help because it's really hard to figure out what to do, especially in that type of situation. And also you have so many hormones going everywhere right now. There's so much going on, and the fact that she can't see that is really frustrating and upsetting.
And maybe she'll never see it, but hopefully she has a change of heart and realizes.
It just seems like she's just very, very self-absorbed, and she just does not really care.
It does seem like that. It certainly does.
Unfortunate. I'm sorry, OP, but I think you're doing the right thing.
Me too.
I think you're getting the help you need.
Good for you and your daughter.
Yeah,
and your
focus
family.
on you, because that's what you should do anyway. And your daughter.
Your daughter.
Your daughter, your husband, you, your family, except your sister. But everyone else.
My sister-in-law threw a party for my son with strangers without notifying me.
Who's at the party?
So on Saturday, we celebrated my son's birthday, and my husband and I had a party for him with all of his friends and our families. It was a blast, and everything turned out perfect. By the way, this comes from OKCookie7515. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, 2 weeks ago, my mother-in-law asked if she could borrow my son the day after his birthday to take him to his favorite indoor playground. She texted me today and asked if she could also borrow my daughter, who is 8 months old, so I could stay behind and clean up the mess from the party. I thought, Wow, yes, that would be helpful, right?
Sounds lovely so
Sounds
far.
great. Well, little did I know she took them to the indoor playground because my sister-in-law had planned a party for my son and invited all her friends and their kids whom I don't even know or have ever met. That's weird. Why
It's
wouldn't you invite
weird.
OP?
Right? Like, I get the kind gesture. I'm happy that she added and their kids.
Yeah, that'd be so weird. She's like, yes, all my adults have come to goggle at my nephew.
From the title, I was totally
Yeah.
picturing that.
We're going to put him in a glass case, and everyone's just gonna
He's literally in one of
Take
those netted
notes.
climbing
Yeah.
gyms and they all have binoculars.
like, as you can see here, the young human boy.
He's very agile.
He's
climbs quick.
rambunctious. My son only knew one kid of the bunch that went. I probably only personally met 2 out of the 15 people who attended. I am so devastated that my mother-in-law was not honest with my husband and me from the start. My husband and I are not on speaking terms with my sister-in-law, but even then, my mother-in-law made us invite her to the party we threw for my son and threatened to stop helping with the kids if we didn't. That's insane. Even though she hardly ever helps. To keep the peace with my mother-in-law, we decided to invite my sister-in-law, and she did come to my son's birthday party. Now, I am so disappointed and disgusted that they would throw my son a birthday party with a bunch of strangers he didn't know. Not only that, but I trusted them with my baby. And now I'm seeing pictures of strangers holding my baby girl.
Oh
no.
no.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Oh, now it's no contact with mother-in-law and sister-in-law.
Looks like you're
Bummer.
both out.
It makes me feel like a horrible mother knowing I didn't have control over their safety with other strangers. Am I the a-hole for thinking I should have been notified, invited, and even asked if it was okay to throw him a party? No, you're not the a-hole.
You're not the a-hole. That's wild.
We have also been planning a surprise party for my mother-in-law next week with a DJ and a live band, which I am now tempted to cancel. My husband is talking to his mom tomorrow, and I am losing sleep, feeling like the worst mom ever. And there are some comments, but what do you think?
Ooh. Okay. Well, first off, not the a-hole. We
Yeah.
established that.
No.
Especially once you hit, like, there's pictures of random strangers
Yeah.
holding my 8-month-old.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
As far as the party for mother-in-law, though, I feel like in some way you probably can't get money back for that.
I'm not canceling it.
I'm not canceling it. I'm not going, and neither are my 2 kids. My husband
Oh.
can go.
See, from what it sounds like to me, it sounds
Yeah.
like they're throwing a surprise party. So it sounds
Oh
like
my God.
OP and her husband are planning it.
Are you just, I got you.
We're not inviting mother-in-law. Now it's just
We're
a
having a
cool ass
party.
a cool butt party. Yeah, that's
that
it.
works too.
Mm-hmm. Comment 1 says, "How are you the worst mom? Mother-in-law hijacked your kids. You do need to work on that spine. Keeping peace with mother-in-law just means letting her have her way all the time. I'd definitely cancel the party for the old sneak. And low contact to no contact going forward." OP says, "Yes, I'm done being nice. I'm usually a pushover, but not when it comes to my kids. They blindsided me, and now I'm seeing my sister-in-law's social media, and I literally ran to the bathroom and almost threw up thinking about my babies being held and celebrated by people that I've never met." Reply says, "Comment under every single picture that you did not approve of any of those people touching your children. Make an issue of it. So strange. Report the pictures your sister-in-law posted and have them taken down. Don't just let her or anyone post pictures of your kids." Comment 2 says, "Not the a-hole. Your husband needs to strongly back you up. I hope your kids didn't catch anything from those strangers.
Yeah.
Cancel the party for your lying mother-in-law." Don't cancel. It's a surprise party. You have a DJ and a live band.
Party it up.
It's next week. Don't
Invite all your
cancel.
friends.
Literally, it's gonna be so much fun.
Like, hey guys, if anyone texted me
Yeah.
last minute surprise DJ
Yeah.
party, I'm
Sick.
there.
I'd be like, "Oh my god, guys, we're having a surprise. We're having
A
a
non-surprise surprise party. It's a surprise for all of you guys
yeah.
now.
You guys didn't know it was happening. Live band, DJ.
Yeah. I mean,
come
the
over."
guests all know about it still,
Yeah.
presumably.
And you're like, "Hey, mother-in-law can no longer make it, so it's just gonna be a party."
Yeah.
Woo, woo. OP, this finally made my husband realize the double standards my mother-in-law has for him and his sister. She would have never allowed us to do something like that to her. Sister-in-law doesn't have kids, but so wrong to have helped conceal the truth from us. Comment 3 says, "I would be outraged. I would feel physically ill too. Your job as a parent is to keep your kids safe, and you can't keep your kids safe if you don't know who they're with. They lied to you. You are not overreacting, and you are not the a-hole. Please never, ever, ever let your kids be alone with your mother-in-law or sister-in-law ever again. Terrifying, awful people. They should be so ashamed of themselves. OP says, yeah, mother-in-law is super ashamed, cried, and understands why we're setting more boundaries and low contact with her. Oh,
Okay.
whoa. I was not expecting her to be remorseful at all.
I did think there was going to be some level of the manipulation came
Yeah.
from sister-in-law still,
Yeah.
but for her to so easily not just brush it
Say
away.
no,
Yeah, actually like
Still
being
lied.
upset.
Sister-in-law absolutely lost her rights to have a relationship with our kids. Comment 2 says, wow, simply wow. I can't believe you're tempted to cancel your mother-in-law's party. You should be scorching the earth and cutting mother-in-law and sister-in-law permanently on everything and shouting from the rooftops that they'll never ever see your children again. You need to tell your husband that you and your children are no longer a part of his family, and if he's not on board, he can leave and you'll be filing for divorce. Okay, we haven't got any indication that husband is not on board with
Husband was
this.
going to talk to mother-in-law.
Husband seems to be pretty active as a parent and a good partner. I don't think we need to even think about divorce right now. That's crazy. There's no compromise on this. If you have to get a lawyer, get one that's a shark that will get you everything you and your kids deserve. Commenter, calm down. I'm still blown away with what his family did. Are you sure your husband didn't know? Jeez.
Okay, how would your opinion change if it came out that husband did know?
Ooh, pretty bad. Pretty
Would
bad.
you go to divorce?
No.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't either.
Because then, honestly, I'd be like, wow, you lied to me. That's totally inappropriate. But then I'd be like, okay, on the other hand, still really mad at you. But also at least, someone was aware
Right, yeah.
where our kids were.
And now you're willing to fix it at least.
Yeah. Regardless, you need to stand up to his vile mother and sister and tell them that because of their behavior, they will never ever see your children again. Don't just think about it, do it. If you do nothing, then expect your in-laws to lie to you always and have future parties with your children without you or your husband. By the way, I would never lie about the full episodes with stories just like this that you can listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. Just search up OK Storytime. There is a final update, but do you have any thoughts?
Wow. I mean, I'm glad mother-in-law seems to have some remorse.
Yeah.
I still think low contact, for now at least, she needs to work that trust back up.
Absolutely.
Is good. I'm not saying mother-in-law can't ever get back to that trusting level, but sister-in-law is not.
It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, and she's not getting my kids unsupervised like that. I'm not finding out through my kids popping up on my social media without me.
To me, it seems like the kids came home, or the son came home and was like, yeah, we had a surprise party.
Oh, I'm sure that young,
so, like, to find,
he's at the age where he's just gonna be like, and we did this and this and this.
And then everyone came over and I didn't know any of them.
And there's a lot of weird people there, Mom. Didn't know
and
any
they
of
kept taking
them.
pictures of me. Really weird.
I smiled for them all, though, Mother. Don't worry.
Don't worry, Mom. I looked great.
You'll see them soon.
Update. Mother-in-law apologized to us and validated our feelings. The surprise party was canceled. We are going absolutely no contact with sister-in-law and keeping limited contact with mother-in-law. A bit of context. My son is on the spectrum. He's super smart and bright, but still struggles with full communication. I am very cautious about who we allow in our lives because of this. Sister-in-law is blaming her mom for not communicating to us that it was a birthday party. She is no longer allowed to have a relationship with our kids. As for the Instagram photos she posted of the party, they have now expired. Obviously, my son was happy. He got presents and cake. And I do love when people love on my kids. I wrote this post at 3 a.m. to vent and see if I'm the a-hole for thinking I should have been invited or notified. And that's the end of the story. I refused to take care of my ex-husband, and it made our kids furious.
They know he's your ex, right?
I, 56 female, have come across a new problem in my life, and my wife, 56 female, thinks that coming here will either help in getting another perspective or give me validation. I have 4 children that I birthed and raised, 35 male, 32 female, 29 male, and 29 female, by my ex-husband, and they all recently decided to cut me out of their lives because I refuse to care for their father. By the way, this comes from Visible Yesterday 62, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I refused on the basis that he and I divorced over 10 years ago, and they feel like I should help take care of him as a favor to them. I've stuck by my decision and chose to go on a cruise with my wife instead of caring for their dad, and they haven't spoken to me directly since. Right now, the only way I'd be able to see my children or grandchildren would be if I physically went to their house and forced my way in, but I don't want to be that person. I'll admit it hasn't been easy and I miss them, but my wife and I, along with my therapist, all agree that if I give in, I'm just showing that I'll cave to their demands every time, as they've made it very clear it's either I care for their father nearly every day or nothing. I don't want to do that, especially since my ex-husband and I didn't divorce on good terms. Recently, my eldest son's wife, Kate, 34 female, reached out to me and said that she had an emergency and asked if I wanted to see my grandchildren, Emma, 9 female, and Kyle, 6 male. And I obviously agreed. At the time, I was under the impression that my son was aware, and since I was still blocked, I didn't think to check with him. Kate dropped the kids off, and I had a nice time with them. Kate came back a few hours later and asked if I could watch the kids again, and when I asked how my son felt, she told me that while he was still angry, he was fine, and that I should just contact her if there are any problem. Unfortunately, Kate was lying, and I found out about this when my son came to my house, furious. Apparently, Kate and he have been having problems since November, and she started looking for lawyers after my son told her to quit her part-time job, stop going to school online, and be a stay-at-home mom while also working on baby number 3. Kate stated that my son has been doing things to sabotage her. And sadly, some of the things she said track with both my son and his father. My son stopped payment for daycare. Kate's nearest relative lives about an hour away, and any friend she would trust to look after her kids and were willing are also friends with my son and refuse to get involved.
Oh my God.
I was not happy about being lied to, but I can't find myself too angry because I got to see 2 of my grandkids. I admit it's very selfish, but I agreed to take the kids for her on the condition that she not lie to me and understand that if my son comes for the kids, I cannot and will not keep them from him. I also agreed to pay for the summer daycare program for the kids so they have something fun to do, and my son is predictably not happy with me. Since more than one person brought up a good point, I want to clarify that when I found out Kate was initially lying, I didn't just take what she said at face value. I asked my son, and he either admitted it or didn't deny the accusation. Kate also showed me text messages, both in screenshots and on her phone. My son is tragically displaying many of the same behaviors as his father. My ex does have a wife, and from what I last heard from my children, she wasn't doing a good job. Although I haven't spoken to her directly because I don't feel the need, I also think that would be too nosy. Am I the a-hole? And there are some comments.
Wow. Well, no. You're being lovely. But
Also, really insane that we just learned that the ex has a wife.
yeah.
The ex has
And
a
they're
wife.
still coming after OP. Like, but that's your job, actually. You 100% have to be
Yeah.
right that it's just like that is how women have been talked about,
Mhm.
and like
In this family.
this
yeah.
is how it's supposed to be, like throughout
Yeah.
their family.
I wonder how the women, like your daughter.
That's what I was
is it
wondering.
2 daughters?
I think it's 3 sons and 1 daughter.
Okay, yeah. So I wonder how your daughter in this situation
Right.
is being treated.
That's why I was shocked that even the daughter
Mhm.
cut OP off.
Yeah. And maybe, she's been raised in this traditional
Right.
household and been taught that, like, a women's place is, caretaker.
She's brainwashed.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
kind of also surprising that she doesn't want to take on the caretaker role. Or is not being pressured to take on
Yeah.
the caretaker role. Don't know. Comments. Comment 1, not the a-hole. It's not the grandchildren's fault that their father, uncles, and aunts are all unreasonable a-holes. Always keep a safe space for the grandbabies. Reply says, right? These kids are horrible. Why can't they take care of their own father? This could be why son wants his wife to quit her job and school so she can be his dad's caretaker. OP says, wow, I didn't think about that. Comment 2 says, wow, your son is the a-hole here. I mean, him stopping paying for daycare isn't just hurting his wife, it's hurting his kids. He sounds like he doesn't give a crap about his kids. This is a harmful relationship. I hope Kate gets out quickly. If your son is just like your ex, then I can see why you divorced him, not the a-hole. And OP says, I'm definitely not happy that my son chose to stop paying for daycare before discussing it with his wife and demanding/expecting her to be a stay-at-home mom. But I feel like I can't be too upset because of how I raised him. In my own childhood, I was taught to believe that a mother must always sacrifice for her children and never prioritize her own happiness and desires before the kids. Some people in my and my ex-husband's family think that if a woman can stay home with her kids, then she should, and that a mom can always get a job when the kids are an adult. My ex and I put this mentality in all of our children's minds through our words and actions over the years, so it's another reason why I feel like I'm an a-hole. Comment 3 says your children are asking you to care for their dad. That is not your responsibility. You guys are divorced over 10 years ago. He needs to get into a new relationship like you did. Your grandchildren are your blood. Do whatever you can to be in their lives. Maybe you can remind your children why you and their dad divorced to help them not repeat the same pattern to their spouse. OP says, actually, my ex-husband does have a wife, but from what I was told before I was cut off, she wasn't doing a very good job. Comment 4 says, not the a-hole. Your ex sure played a number on your kids. Who knows what he's been poisoning their minds with? But they are adults who are acting like spoiled little brats. Perhaps because none of them want to help their dad? If you provide any financial assistance to them, cut that off now. OP says, to be honest, I can't put it all on my ex. I set the expectation that I would and should always sacrifice for them as a sign of love. My choice to follow through on my pre-planned trip with my wife was the first time I actually held true to a boundary in a major way. Also, to be fair, my children did initially try in the beginning, but it got to be too much for them as they don't have the same amount of free time as I do. I haven't given any financial assistance to my children in a while, and there is an update 7 months later, but do you have any thoughts?
I mean, I feel like we know where it came from now.
Yeah.
We know exactly why they're acting this way, so I feel like now you just have to hold strong that you don't have to cave for them to take care of your ex-husband.
Absolutely.
I just don't know how much there is of changing their minds at this point, besides just pointing out the obvious, he has a wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's all you can do. Definitely don't offer your ex-husband or ex-husband care.
No.
But I think offering Kate a reprieve and, child care is great.
Yeah.
So I would continue doing that as much as you can. Update 7 months later. Happy holidays. I made this post a while ago, and since I still get update requests, I decided to post an update. Over the summer, I paid for my son's children to go to summer camp, so Kate would have some free time to get her affairs in order and offered to look after them. My son, however, went to the camp and told the staff that he did not consent to the kids being there, so their spots were taken. My grandchildren were really upset because it was a nice camp with fun activities. My son basically didn't care because his goal was to use them to keep Kate at home. He also threatened to call the cops if they went to my place, so Kate left the kids with my son and made sure the kids knew he was the reason they couldn't go to camp. When they met with lawyers, my son tried to claim abandonment on Kate's part, but she provided proof that he interfered with my grandchildren's activities while offering no alternative. During the last month of summer, using my wife's connections, my grandchildren were able to get into another summer program and had a nice time. Kate has her own place and a better paying job and has allowed me to FaceTime with my grandchildren from time to time, which has been nice. By the way, it's also nice to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, not all great.
I mean, it sounds like they're divorcing.
Yeah, it sounds like they're divorcing, which is great. Sounds
10 out of
like
10.
you're able to have some access to your grandkids, which I'm sure will be even more
once that divorce is final.
Once the divorce is final.
I cannot imagine watching this person that I raised just be so awful.
So awful. To take away the opportunity from your kids.
Right. Because you
insane.
need that much control over your wife staying home.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. But there is a little bit left to this story. My children have now completely unblocked me, but I have to block them because they only called to berate and pester me and even started to cause trouble for my wife and me at our respective jobs. We ended up having to send an official legal notice to get them to stop. It's draining and upsetting, but my wife and stepchildren are really helping me get through it. It's not perfect, but I'm happier now than I was while married to my ex-husband. I also heard through Kate that while the worst of my ex's health issues are over, he is permanently in a less than ideal state. He was also secretly spending thousands of dollars on OF accounts, which upset his current wife, understandably, yes. One of my daughters filed a complaint with Adult Social Services, and the investigation ended with no fault on my ex's wife, showing that my ex was just refusing to improve his behavior. And that's the end. Yeah, that's crazy. Your kids are literally, I wouldn't, put it past them to file an adult, social services thing against you.
Yeah. It's weird to go for the ex-husband's new wife.
Yeah. Well, I guess in saying like, oh, she's not taking care of him.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
You're letting him use his money for things he doesn't actually want. Yeah. I'm sure he actually wanted that. Yeah. He knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
My partner refused to have a child-free party, so I let it all blow up.
With the children there?
So I, female mid-20s, love hosting events like a Halloween party, Galentine's Day, Friendsgiving, game nights, etc. I usually like to keep things small, only inviting close friends or relatives, mine or my partner's. I have very few house rules, but the one big one is that all events are child-free. These events include themed food and decorations, drinking, games, smoking flower, so a very much adult party. I even have air mattresses and a pull-out couch for guests who can't drive home. By the way, this comes from OKTruth9183, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Riley.
I'm Carly's boyfriend.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. The problem being, most of my friends and family do not have kids and want to stay that way, while my partner's side is the opposite. We're planning a New Year's party, and my partner's family is complaining that they can't go because of their kids. Mind you, both sets of grandparents can babysit for each of his siblings' kids. My partner tried to convince me to make the party child inclusive this one time, but I refused. My reasonings are, the party will obviously last past midnight and they are kids. Our pets don't like kids, as these specific ones have no boundaries. I do not like kids. I do not feel like being responsible if their parents decide to get wasted. It's completely unnecessary and will hinder the party, as people will have to watch what they say or do in front of the kids. And now his reasoning. His family feels like we push them away. He never makes an effort to see them or plan stuff with them specifically. The kids can sleep on the air mattresses, couch, or bed. His siblings think it's unfair to exclude them because of their kids. Only their kids are excluded. We should want to spend time with his nibblings. Family above everything. They think me being around kids will change my mind about having them. We are on the verge of canceling the party and me co-hosting with my friend at her place, completely excluding his family against his wishes.
Oh.
Where are you at right now?
I don't know, dude. I feel like we probably shouldn't be dating if this is the case. He wants to include his family. Cool, whatever.
I'm also kind of like...
Does he like his family?
Yeah.
Okay,
is every party like this? Like, can we not pre-plan to have some parties where the kids are invited?
She hates kids. There should not be a single kid there. If there's
boo-hoo, it's compromised.
If there's someone that needs help walking, they should not be there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like...
what happens when you have too much adult beverages and you can't walk?
Well, they have air mattresses.
I also want to add that these events are planned and paid for by me. My partner agrees on the date, but the actual organization and financial aspect is taken care of by me. So I'm here to ask if I am the a-hole, and if you guys would understand if you were one of the parents invited. Comment 1. This indicates a deep issue. As you say, your partner does nothing to keep in touch with his family. For lots of hetero couples, women often take this kind of emotional maintenance on their partner's behalf. He clearly wants you to do this, but is unwilling to be honest. Probably because he's lazy and doesn't want conflict. This will be a perpetual issue in your relationship so long as you are unwilling to emotionally maintain his relationships for him. And he's unwilling to maintain them on his own. Not the a-hole. But it's a huge relationship issue you guys need to figure out. Comment 2, not the a-hole. Your partner's family members can host their own party and include kids. your partner is welcome to join them if he wants. There is absolutely nothing wrong with hosting a party that is adults only. I agree with canceling the party and co-hosting at your friend's place. Partner's family is less likely to show up with their kids in tow at someone else's home. Understand that you have a partner problem. He isn't co-hosting parties, but wants you to cater to the demands of his family. He doesn't maintain his own relationships with his family, but wants you to take on their expectations. No, drop the rope. Going forward, don't invite partner's family to any of your parties. With Christmas coming, don't do any of the work for their gifts from partner. It's his responsibility to make holiday arrangements with his family and to buy and wrap any gifts for them. Don't coordinate plans with his family or respond to their questions directly. I'll let partner know you asked. He'll get back to you. There's been people asking me for an update, so here it goes. It is long. My party went amazing. Even some of my partner's cousins came, without their kids, of course. His party went almost exactly how a lot of you predicted. Please keep in mind, I was not there, and I'm just telling you guys what he told me. So it sounds like they had
Two
alternate
different
parties. First and foremost, he made sure to go over house rules for each family as they arrived.
Oh, God.
Again, those rules being no going into our bedroom, the dog's room is available if needed with a full-size bed, no touching our gaming consoles, some are in the living room as that's how we watch our streaming services and TV, and the others are in our room. Keep an eye on your kids. First complaints were that we didn't have enough entertainment for the kids. We got dollar store coloring books with crayons, colored pencils, goldfish, action figure, dolls, and Capri Sun. When the kids got bored, they ended up trying to play with the doggy, which ended up with the dog barking at them as soon as the jiggled the handle. The younger ones apparently started crying because they were scared.
Dude, I'm sorry. As a parent, you got to bring your own entertainment, right? They got to entertain themselves. Or they do this thing that seems to not exist anymore. It's called being bored.
Which led to a small argument between the parents and my partner about watching their kids. Second complaint came as he was dealing with the kids trying to get into our room. As soon as he came back to the dining room, he saw his sister-in-law changing her baby on our dining room table. My partner loses it and starts yelling at sister-in-law that she's disgusting and unhygienic. His sister-in-law got defensive, saying it's disgusting to change her baby on the dog's bed, even though we wash all the sheets and blankets weekly. It got so bad, his brother had to break it up. Third incident happened as he was getting the food delivery. I guess his sister felt that her kids should be on the PS5 instead of the movie they had on. She gets the controller and gives it to her son, around 8 years old. When my partner gets back, he sees what happened, and what started as an argument turned into a yelling match between his sister and himself.
My brothers were not allowed to touch the gaming consoles until they were about 10 because they understood how to use them then.
He guessed her son realized my partner was going to take the PS5 from him, so this kid grabs the PS5 from its stand and tries to run with it. He ends up falling because the console is still connected to the wall and the TV. He falls on it, breaking it, which was pretty loud from what I hear.
Do you know how much a PS5 is?
Yeah.
It is so expensive. I still have
It's hard
my
to even
PS4 from 2016 because I am not about to honk that kind of money over for a PS5.
Aren't they like still hard to find, low-key, too?
No,
or is
they're
it that
easier.
calmed down?
That calmed down.
It calmed down. But depending on when the story was.
Yeah, when was the story? My partner loses it. He starts yelling that they should be watching their kids. His family is yelling back that he needs to get used to it for when he has kids. My partner yells back something along the lines of not wanting kids because he'd be as miserable as them. That kids are a lifetime inconvenience. His words, not mine.
Are the kids hearing this too? Oh
Yes.
boy.
Yeah, they're right there.
And that they de-influence him from having kids every time he sees theirs. He kicked them all out. By this time, it was around 10. After they left, my partner started cleaning the mess and his parents called him. Essentially, what was said was that he should have been taking care of the kids so the parents could have a nice break, that it could have been avoided and will help transition him into being ready for kids in the long run.
Yo, ain't that what a babysitter does?
Didn't I invite you to have a good time and have a party?
And weren't his parents supposed to be the babysitters for that night? My partner told his parents he's getting a vasectomy because his siblings' lives are heck on earth to him. My partner put in a new house rule, which is no kids from his side allowed at all. We are looking for a new dining room table, and he put that one out the same day. Obviously, sister-in-law is refusing to pay us back, saying that as adults, we should understand and be more graceful to parents. His PS5 was a birthday gift from last year. which does have insurance, so we're getting a replacement free of charge.
Oh, nice.
So for now, we are keeping much needed distance from his side, and we are putting in place very strict boundaries. I'm not gonna lie, this was the most satisfying but preventable, I told you so. And we have an edit. Someone in the comments wanted me to add that the table had diarrhea dripping onto it per my partner and his cousins who heard from my partner's siblings. But don't throw away us, because you can always listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. I get your point about the table. However, I'm not comfortable eating on it knowing what happened. If y'all are, more power to you, I guess. I wasn't really after the monetary value of it, more trying to shame sister-in-law, because who changes a kid on someone else's dining table? But y'all really took that point and went with it, I guess. My partner is first-gen American from an immigrant family. Parents come here for better work to send money back for his siblings and had him here. His siblings immigrated from a third world country to here about 3 years ago. I don't know if that helps put more context to the story. My family also originates from there, but we are a couple of generations in already.
You learn.
At that point, I think I'd feel too bad to even give an I told you so. I think I'd just be like, so next party.
It's very odd that like OP's partner was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to host a kid's party here.
Yeah. He was really sad about it being at their place.
Yeah, I get it.
I think just because the plans were already to go there, but it's like you could have changed where it was going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just go to the park.
Just go outside.
I apparently spoiled my friend's son and turned him against her.
Well, why'd you do that?
I, 31 female, am a single woman who lives alone and doesn't intend on having children of my own. How dare you live your own life?
And just in case we're not clear, he was still kidding.
I'm not wealthy, but I make enough to very comfortably support myself. I work from home and have a flexible schedule, so I have a lot of time to live how I want. By the way, this comes from user TA Friends Kid Problems. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're going to read this story and give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we know. Tell us what you know in the comments. And OP says, I have a complicated friendship with Emma, 27 female, because I love her, but she frustrates me. Emma is a single mom of 2 children, Caleb, 7 male, and Grace, 4 female. Grace has had serious lung problems since birth and contracted RSV in October and has been hospitalized since. It's been a horrible time, and she is finally more stable now, but still not well. Early into Grace's hospitalization, Emma asked me to take Caleb. Emma lives with her parents, who were not willing to watch him full-time, so I happily took him in temporarily and converted my den into a room for him. He's a sweet kid who's been through a lot, and I'm happy to give him some quiet space. I've never taken care of a child long-term before, and my life was not set up for kids, but he has adjusted well. I love cooking and collecting special ingredients to use and try in new recipes, and Caleb just rolled with it. I grow microgreens at home, and he's loved watching the process and incorporating them into his food. He hasn't liked everything, but he's always willing to try. I like pour painting, and we've been having craft nights where he gets to experiment with his own canvases, which he's enjoyed. We also take trips to museums and shows.
Museums. He had to pause because he knew it was coming. You know, this was your hill because
you really didn't.
I paused
say it that
because
time
in my
anyway.
head I was like, I'm gonna say it the right way, and then I said it my way.
Not as much though. That was tamer.
This belongs in a museum.
And I like how you were like on that hill that Indiana Jones said that.
Roll the clip.
And you were so wrong.
I really thought that's how he said it. I really did.
At least you did immediately admit defeat after. And
instantaneously, I was defeated. I said, oh no, oh God, he doesn't say that at all. Okay. I've kept up my regular life, and luckily he was thrilled to come along. I would have struggled to come up with a more kid-specific lifestyle. Emma usually only calls weekly and sees him maybe once or twice a month, which bothers me, but the Grace situation must be draining, so I try not to hold against her. But it does mean that Emma really has no idea what we do day to day. That's crazy. Once every couple weeks check-in is pretty insane.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yesterday was Christmas, and he was going home to visit his mom. I sent him with his gifts, which were shoes and books, and also gifts for his mom and sister. His grandma dropped him off last night and didn't really say much to me, which was weird. Caleb looked sad and didn't want to talk about it, so I let it be and we watched a movie before bed. Late that night, I got a call from Emma crying at me for ruining her relationship with her son. I guess it didn't go super well, and she feels that Caleb is now spoiled because of me, and that what she can provide is no longer good enough for him. He wants to make kimchi with her. He wants to get a cat. He doesn't want the mac and cheese his mom made for him. When Emma gave him a new coloring book, he told her about the paintings instead and asked her to get the supplies so they could do it together while he went back home. He asked why she never takes him to museums.
You did it.
You said it normally.
You said it normally. Was that so hard?
I hate all of you. I was so thrown off by the screaming that I yelled back and told her I wasn't going to downgrade my life to suit her expectations, and she hung up on me. I feel guilty now. I really hadn't considered how I could be affecting Caleb's tastes long term, but I think she should have thought about that herself. She knows how I live. Am I the a-hole here?
I like that her son came back and was like, Mama, I'd really like to paint with you. And she goes, I can't believe you'd put my son onto something like that. I can't believe you do that together. And he's like, I wanted to do it with you, Mom.
So you just were too fun and cool. And you needed
taking care of their son.
For months, it sounds like.
Well, you barely checked in or like even called.
And I get it. There's a lot going on. Is he really spoiled? Because look, I'll tell you right now. A very average, poorly seasoned mac and cheese, one of the worst things you could ever put in front of me. I hate it. Now, really good mac and cheese.
No matter what, I just love mac and cheese.
But you know the ones I'm talking about. The mac and cheese that just tastes like air. And it looks, the visual appeal
I need brand name.
of the mac and cheese can be so good.
I know what you're talking about.
You know that you've had this experience.
Well, I'm not like the biggest mac and cheese enjoyer, but I know what you're talking about. Where it looks like a brick.
It looks really good. And then you bite into it, and it's the most bland, tasteless mac and cheese you've ever had.
Yeah.
Oh, I want mac and cheese now.
Anyway, I wouldn't say you're the a-hole.
Hey, Riley, can you order mac and cheese for everyone?
Yes, Riley, order us all mac and cheese, please, please, please,
Riley,
please,
mac
please,
and
please,
cheese.
Please, Creole mac and cheese, Creole mac and
Riley.
cheese,
Why?
please,
Mac
please,
and cheese, Riley.
please. We want mac and cheese, please.
It's
Mac
for
and
an
cheese for the
experiment.
stream. It's for the stream.
We need to test out how this person feels about mac and cheese.
Yes.
Where would I get said so mac and cheese? KFC?
Literally anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere.
Literally anywhere. Even
Yeah,
grocery
yeah,
store.
yeah.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, mac and cheese,
Mac and
please,
cheese,
dad,
mac and
please,
cheese,
dad,
mac and
please,
cheese,
dad,
mac and
please.
cheese.
All right, I'll look into it, kids.
Yay!
No way. Yeah, oh my God, yay.
You're the coolest dad.
Comment 1, not the a-hole. The kid is 7. She only saw him a couple times a month. She basically abandoned the poor thing. How far apart are y'all that she wasn't seeing her son? Opie says her parents' house is 10 minutes from me, but the children's hospital is in a neighboring state about 90 minutes away. A reply says 90 minutes away is not that far, especially if you're a good parent, and that's the distance between you and your small child. Let's pump the brakes, people, because she's in the hospital with her daughter who was in critical condition for a lot of this, I assume. And yeah, it's like 90 minutes away is actually like basically from here to the moon. If it's like, yeah, your daughter's vitals are crashing, you might as well be on a different solar system.
Yeah, I did forget about that. But didn't she also like barely call?
Yeah, the not calling like close to daily is crazy to me.
Yeah, that one's what got me more so.
And there is an update. So, 58.
Where did you get
560. Shut up. It's because I don't have mac and cheese. 58 days later. This isn't the happiest update, but not the worst either. It's also incomplete, but enough people asked me for an update that I felt I owed it to you guys. Emma has disappeared.
What?
Well,
Where'd she go?
congratulations on your new son.
She became a magician's assistant.
Were they playing hide and seek?
They disappeared her.
Oh my God, barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese.
Buffalo
Shut up.
chicken mac and cheese
Shut-
from Wawa.
Oh.
Riley, can we get buffalo chicken mac and cheese from Wawa?
Oh.
Can you just ship it across the country, Riley?
Oh.
Riley's not in the room anymore.
Okay. I have not heard from her since the phone call, and she stopped showing up to the hospital around the first week of January. Grace has been released from the hospital into the care of Emma's parents. She is still very weak and lethargic, but she's recovering as well as she can. I bring Caleb to his grandparents to see her several times a week, and it's just so wonderful to see how happy they are to see each other. I can barely hold in the tears. This has been so difficult for both of them, and I love that they have each other. There's been a never-ending series of meetings, visits, and phone calls with CPS, boards, and family lawyers these past 2 weeks, which has been a lot. Yeah, no, Emma just disappeared entirely from everyone's life. That's a little cray-cray.
Yeah, I'm wondering, too, if that means that Grace is moving in with you and Caleb, or if they'll both move in with the grandparents.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if they are, like, so good together and there for each other, you'd
Yeah.
think maybe you'd put them back together.
Yeah. Anyway, there are complications to Caleb being placed with me that I had not considered before, and almost resulted in him being placed with his paternal grandparents, but ultimately it was decided it was best for Caleb to stay where he was, in his same school and near his sister. Barring any major complications, I will officially be granted temporary custody early next week and very likely guardianship this summer. Grace will remain with her grandparents for at least the time being, but me taking her once she's stronger has been suggested. It's uncertain if or when this could happen, but it's a possibility. It would be the best for them to be together. And by the way, it would be the best for all of us if you listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. I hope that Emma's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like she's doing better now that she's left the hospital.
No, that's Grace.
Oh, you're so right.
Emma's status is fully unknown.
She's MIA or
MIA.
MIA.
Yeah, no, but she's gone.
Yeah,
we don't know where she
went.
is.
She's
Yeah,
gone, girl.
that's crazy. But hey, OP, you've got a kid. Maybe two.
I'm not gonna say I understand Emma's situation or dilemma, but like, you know, she's like drowning in like just so much stress and like everything
Yeah.
going on. It finally, the ship sunk. She just couldn't handle it anymore,
Yeah.
which sucks. But yeah, no, I hope
mean,
you guys
yeah,
can find her.
Single mom, clearly had some sort of complex about like, now my kid is spoiled. You ruined my kid. I'm not good enough for my own kid.
Not. I hope they can find her.
I hope they find her, and I hope they find her well.
Hope they find her and get her some help.
She just went to Vegas, guys. She just went to Vegas to put it all on 17 Black.
Roll it again.
Let it ride.
Let it ride.
Let it ride. I just saw a German version of that video today. It was hilarious. Sorry, everybody. Me and Keon were just having a conversation there. Let's finish this story. Emma's social media is still active. We can see her opening our messages, but we don't know where she is or who she's with. I just hope she stays alive. I don't think I could ever forgive her for this, but her children still need her to be okay. Caleb is turning 8 at the end of the month. He wants to go ice skating. I've never gone myself, but I'm so excited to make a fool of myself with him. I just want to give him the best birthday I can. He deserves so much. If anyone has any cool ideas, I'd love to hear them. I don't see myself returning here, so that's the best ending I have for you. And there are some comments here. Comment number 1. Maybe look into hiring a private investigator, which is expensive, but worth it in this case to track down Emma. For 2 reasons. To make sure she's safe, and she owes you guys child support. OP says she's disappeared once before when Caleb was a toddler. She left him with her parents for about 6 months.
Jeez.
And that first indicator wasn't like, what's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on? I've thought about going out to look for her myself to make sure she's okay. Trying to track her down for money is a waste of time, to be realistic. I do want to find her, though. A reply says, does she feel bad for failing as a mother? I would guess yeah.
I would think that's maybe why she ran.
Yeah.
Maybe that and some probably crazy medical bills.
Yeah, there's something going on, yeah. Ooh, that's actually such a good point.
Yeah, she probably got hefty medical bills.
Because Caleb is doing better with you than with her, and Grace is so sick, did she have a complete mental breakdown and is in need of desperate help? I would also say yes, probably.
Yeah.
I know you're mad at her, but if she improves, would you allow a relationship between her and her children? I don't know. I'm not too hopeful, but it's just a what if. OP's like, absolutely yes. Yeah, 100%. Reunification is still the long-term goal. I know there are people
Boy.
reading this who will disagree, but it hasn't been long enough to assume she won't come back. I'm positive she will.
I am just a little worried since she did this to Caleb once before. Caleb might continue to feel abandoned over and over again. Maybe we start Caleb in some therapy now. I mean, he probably doesn't remember the toddler one, but...
Yeah, I would hope not.
But maybe we put him in some therapy for that one.
I'm guessing we're going to get a third strike.
And she might do it again.
She going to come back, she going to disappear. She going to come back, she going to disappear.
I mean, hey, maybe she'll come back and you guys get her some really good help and then she won't disappear. And that should be great. It should be there for them, for Caleb and Grace.
I know this situation is messed up. I know everything I wrote about her runs counter to this, but I know she loves her children. I'm not saying that alone makes her a good parent, but I know she does. She wasn't well the first time she dumped Caleb. I know she isn't well now, and I don't want to see her punished, not by me or her parents or legally. Punishment will serve no one here. I'm not going to be able to get past it. We're never going out for drinks again or texting dumb memes to each other. We are not going to be friends. But I'll support her in any way I can if it means the children being with their parent. And that is the end of that story.
Whew.
Yes, you are a selfless champion.
You're a
and
good
we
person.
applaud you.
Yeah, you're a good person, OP.
Yeah. And
Yes.
I hope ice skating's fun.
Champion of the ice. Champion of the selfless.
My friend had a ice skating birthday party. She broke her hand. So I hope it goes better than
Wow.
Did anyone give
Way
her
to
a hand?
ruin that.
I tried to save my wife from her past, but it didn't end well.
You can't save me from my past.
I, 46 male, have been married to my wife, 45 female, for over 20 years. We have 3 teenage kids, and until recently, I would have said we had a wonderful marriage. But looking back, I think out of pure love and obsession, I've been seeing things through rose-colored glasses. By the way, this comes from user Independent Drive 544. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia. I'm Angie.
And we are here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you would do something else, let us know in the comments. And OP says, we met in college through her best friend. She had a tough upbringing. Her mom was very young when she was born, and her parents were never married. She didn't meet her biological dad until her 30s. Her mom is not a good person, and they are no contact now. Until my wife was a teenager, she shared a bedroom with her mother in her grandparents' house. They were more like sisters. As a teenager, her mom married another awful person after having an affair with him. He was divorced with 2 kids, slightly older than my wife. Imagine merging 2 families with teenage kids after their dad cheated on their mother and forced them all into one house. My wife endured countless horrors as a child. She was never complimented growing up. I have never heard my mother-in-law compliment her. My wife was always smart, did well in school, and helped around the house. She was and is very pretty. Her mother only criticized her constantly. To say this has taken a mental toll is an understatement. I've loved her with every sense of my being and supported her through therapy. And I am by no means a perfect husband, but I've tried my best to be supportive and loving. Fast forward to today, my wife obviously has a lot of issues stemming from her childhood. I love her more than anything, but it hasn't been easy. I've borne the brunt of some pretty outlandish treatment, and I'm wondering if I've been blinded by love and if this is not a safe and healthy environment for me. I don't know if I could ever leave. I don't know if I could do that to her or my kids. But I'm starting to feel like I'm only here to provide support financially, emotionally, physically, and with parenting. About 5 years ago, we went to a beach location for a long weekend with a lifelong friend of mine and his family. One night, while leaving an amusement park, my friend and I asked the wives if we could grab a drink and watch the end of a baseball game at a nearby bar while they got ice cream next door. Everyone seemed fine with this. We were gone maybe 30 minutes. When we got home, my wife lost it. She couldn't believe I abandoned the family. That was the first time she lost control. She did awful things and I just froze. This pattern escalated over the next few months. She slammed the shower door, breaking it, and trapping me, unclothed, inside. If she hadn't brought me a screwdriver to remove the door, I'd still be in there. Right before the holidays in 2019, my wife had a disagreement with my daughter. My wife made a mistake and said something she shouldn't have. But instead of simply apologizing, she turned it into the Third World War. After my daughter went to her room, punished, my wife and I went to our room. I tried to calm her down, but she wanted me to match her level of outrage. I'm over 6 feet tall and a pretty fit guy.
Okay.
My wife is almost a foot shorter and maybe 80 pounds lighter. I sat there frozen and afraid. I didn't even want to grab her hands out of fear I'd be blamed for the fight and arrested. She was unhinged. After this, I freaked out. Our kids heard the commotion, and we later had to talk to them about it. I told my wife this wasn't safe for me. She had a near breakdown out of fear I would leave her. She discussed it with her therapist. We went to couples therapy for the first time. I've come to realize that therapists, or at least the ones we've seen, focus on the patient with the most needs. Given my wife's past, she has the most mental health issues, so that's where the focus was. The vid came, and the couples therapy stopped. We tried again last year, and that was worse for the same reasons. My wife is very beautiful and gets attention anywhere she goes. I have always complimented her, her beauty, her intellect, how wonderful of a mother she is, how incredible of a cook and hostess she is. She's amazing in so many ways. I think I'm good looking, but nothing special. I'm in good shape, but I'm going bald, and I've aged. I was fine with this for a long time, but as I started to age, I felt somewhat insecure. I looked for reassurance from her about my physical appearance, and she didn't come through for me. She had never really complimented my appearance our whole relationship. One night after we were intimate, she told me how small I was. I always thought she was pleased, so hearing a complaint in that department was quite a blow. She later admitted she said it to hurt me out of some sort of anger. She wasn't even sure what she was mad about. Not long after that, I asked her what was physically attractive about me. I was just looking to feel better about myself, and she told me there was nothing. Those were her words, and she was kind of shocked that I was taken aback and hurt by it. She tried to walk that back over the years. Around that time, I said I was feeling anxiety over work and the kids and life for the first time ever. I asked if she could try to be more supportive. She said no, that she was already a good wife and was providing support already. She couldn't do any more.
This is my maximum support level. That's all you're gonna get.
Your wife sounds like a real Georgia peach.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to therapy and this is what she's like, I think it's time to say, hey, I'm not seeing any changes here. And maybe, I don't know, maybe we would go to the doctor, but like, I can't keep living like this.
Yeah, at some point you just got to be like, you're a nasty little lady.
You're nasty.
And I don't like spending my life with you because you make me feel bad.
You make me feel really bad about myself.
We talked through a lot of it. I expressed how it made me feel, and she apologized. She's way more giving of compliments than she's ever been now, but it feels forced. Like she's only saying it because I asked her to. My wife has a massive fear of abandonment and massive trust issues. Oh, so she's okay, never mind. So maybe she's not cheating on you.
Pushing you away.
She's just doing the thing where it's like, I'll make him leave so that because I know he's going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
She regularly accuses me of cheating. I have been nothing but faithful. I travel about 3 days a month for work, and she regularly wakes me up in the middle of the night to FaceTime to see if anyone's in my room. Obviously, there's never been anyone else in my room. One night last year, I had to travel to give an important presentation first thing in the morning, and I'd prepared for weeks. It was stressful. My wife and I spoke around 10 p.m., talked for about half an hour, and I went to bed. At 2 a.m., I woke up to banging on the hotel door. She had somehow convinced the hotel manager to check on me because of an emergency. I realized I had maybe 10 missed calls and 30 text messages from her. I had been asleep. So we FaceTime, and we confirmed there's no one in the hotel room with me. She wasn't sorry. She was mad it took her so long to get a hold of me. I was now wide awake and had to give this presentation, then work a full day and attend a work dinner on basically 3 hours of sleep. My wife has always been insanely jealous of other women. My first boss after college was like 4 years older than me, and her husband worked at the same company. My wife hated her because I would talk about her. I basically gave up any female friendships I had. Bachelor parties were particularly an issue when all my friends were getting married. She hated the idea of me going to the spicy dance club. Neither of us had spicy dances at our bachelor or bachelorette parties. Some friends of mine did go to these clubs for their bachelor parties, and she wanted me to attend but stay in contact the entire time. I would literally text her nearly the entire time describing the situation. This happened 3 or 4 times, and when I got home, I got the 3rd degree. She examined me, smelled me, examined my body for evidence, and examined my underwear. And then this last one, I said I didn't want to go. Why is she doing all this if she's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't find anything about you attractive.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
this
nothing.
Is a relationship that needs to end, honestly.
Also, were you touched by a single, like, woman? Like, even, like, because if you were, I will literally rip you in half. That's crazy. That's insane. I think you need to divorce.
Yeah.
She wanted me to go and stay in touch. She promised to back off some, but she didn't. At one point, a bouncer came over and told me to put the phone away when I was texting, so I did. All of this would have been no big deal. These bachelor parties all happened over 10 years ago. Recently, she was talking about her best friend's bachelorette party from years ago. My wife was the maid of honor. She had always insisted she never went to a spicy club ever. Well, recently, my wife mentioned something about men pulling her friend up on stage and embarrassing her. I asked where this was. Even in that moment, I wouldn't have cared. I trust her. Or, until all this, I fully trusted her. She insisted this was at a typical bachelorette party restaurant that wasn't a spicy club. I said it felt like she wasn't being honest. She was offended. She's like, I just went there for the wings.
What are you talking about?
We were just there for the lemon pepper wings.
It's the food. It's really good.
Don't understand.
I wasn't there for the spicy
I wasn't there
people.
for the men.
I wasn't there for the men. What are you talking about?
I wasn't there for the men and their bodies. I said the real issue was that she thought I might have put her through the same thing she put me through. But she doubled and tripled down. She goes to the other room, texts her best friend, and comes back to show me. She asks, did we go to a spicy club for your bachelorette party? Which seems like an odd question to ask out of the blue. The responses seemed odd too. So I asked, is this the full text exchange? It feels like something is missing. I look in her deleted text, and sure enough, there are deleted texts. I restore it, and the response from the friend is, oh, that is a definite yes. So I look at my wife, shocked. She says her friend is wrong. Now I'm annoyed, asking what happened that you would lie about this. What did you do? We have an argument where I'm gaslighted unbelievably, and she doesn't remember. Her friend is wrong. Oh, that's why she deleted the text. She didn't cheat or do anything wrong. No real resolution, but she promises she'll figure out exactly what happened. Fast forward about a month to a holiday party. We see her best friend for the first time in a few months. They talk a lot. We leave, and 20 minutes later, she's in the passenger seat when she gets a text from her friend. It includes a screenshot from one of their other friends, and the text says, wife and I just cannot remember what we did for the bachelorette party. Do you remember? The response is this whole description of a comedy show they went to. The entire thing is so contrived, it's almost comical. There's no way this is true, and it's so clear they discussed this at the party and came up with this plan. I feel so manipulated. My wife is almost giddy reading the text and saying they've now solved the mystery. I have no idea what happened at that bachelorette party, but the whole story and the lying was so unnecessary. I wouldn't have even cared if they went to a spicy dancer club because I trusted my wife. But this story has made me lose trust. And now all the over the years is coming back to me and making me see things differently. Have I ever been loved? Is my wife capable of love? Did she cheat on me? Am I the world's biggest fool? I love her and the family we have created. Obviously, there are so many positives in our relationship that I didn't list. But can all the positives in the world make up for this? I don't know about all the positives in the world, but I do know about that one positive, and it's that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this. On your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, just search OK Storytime. We do have a little bit more story left, but how does one make up for this?
You don't. I think this is a marriage that has been failing for a while. And I think OP's finally realizing, wow, this isn't okay. And I think I want to encourage you to just not take that anymore and know that honestly, it's going to be best for your kids and you in the long run if you're in a healthier state of mind and not in this relationship. And she gets the help she needs.
I've got to assume that this is sporadic.
I think so. I think
and
OP's
not
always shocked
consistent.
by it. Yeah.
I got to assume No, I guess he said never. She's never complimented you.
Yeah.
She's only ever insulted you
Well, maybe
and
like
said that she doesn't like anything about you physically. That's really rough. I know she's gone through a lot and has like trauma and stuff in her upbringing.
But that just means that she's not ready for, wasn't ready for a relationship when you started this. If she hasn't worked through that, it's not your cross to bear if she's not able to be in a relationship that's healthy.
Yeah. I think it's at the very least separation.
Yeah, I agree.
And then like trying to maybe make it work while not being together all the time.
Yeah.
But then realistically, you're probably going to find your peace from divorce, brother. And there is an update. I had a lot of conversation with my wife. We've actually been apart all weekend. She sent me a long love bombing message, which was very nice and said a lot of the right things. But she's just talking, That can be nice, but until those words become consistent action, it's just a love bomb. Same story on her friend's bachelorette party, so it's all kind of silly. That's it? That was the update?
I hope that you leave her.
I trusted my mother to take care of my son, and now she wants him.
Mother, I trusted you.
I have a now 3-year-old son who was living with my mom, his grandma, for a year while I was away getting myself together. For personal reasons, I will not explain why I was away for so long, but I felt I needed to better myself for my son. My mother agreed to take care of him while I was away. I FaceTimed with him whenever I could. By the way, this comes from user Throwaway 7890072. And if you want to submit your own stories, why don't you go over to r/OK Storytime subreddit and submit it there. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
Do you know what we're doing?
No.
We're reading stories.
Oh.
And what do? We read them maybe a little goofily. Maybe we have something good to say. Maybe we can't offer any real insight.
Whoa.
That's what you're for. Smarty Pants, get down there in the comments and tell us what's right.
Maybe what's wrong.
NOP says, fast forward to last month, I come to my mother's house to pick up my son. He's happy to see me and my mother are talking while he's playing with his dinosaurs. He suddenly looks up at my mother and says, "Mommy, I'm thirsty." I was obviously confused and asked my mother if she heard him call her mom. She laughed nervously and said that he had been calling her that for a while.
Uh-oh.
She basically explained that while I was away, she told him that she was his mom and to call her that.
She's like, that's so funny. He's been calling me mom. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah. I told him to.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's actually what I've been teaching him. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I laughed and told her that I wasn't comfortable with that since she...
I don't like that.
What? No, don't do that. You're not the one who gave birth to him. I told her she should know that she is his grandmother, not his mom. She got upset, crazy, and told me that he needed a mother figure while I was gone, and she was just trying to fill that role for him. Right, which is something, say it with me now, grandmothers do that. They do that. They do that one.
Can you imagine, though? It's like, okay, this 13-year-old babysitter is gonna watch you and the kid's like 9 or something. This is your mom now. Since I'm away and I can't be your mother figure, this babysitter, you have to call mom.
Yes.
That's how it works.
This is your mom now until I'm back, and then I'll be your mom again. And really, whoever the closest woman to you is will be your mother.
Yeah, exactly.
She said something along the lines of, I've been his mother for a year now, and you can't change that. Yeah, well.
Wait, I'm sorry. So now she's insisting that she stays his mother when she gets back?
Yeah, that's crazy. Honestly, at this point, you might just have to give it up. I think, honestly, for the kid to say, for the safety of the child, for the betterment of the child, you can only have, can you imagine the confusion?
I could only imagine.
1 second, she's my mom. The next second, this old, ugly, disgusting hag is my mom. And then the next second, what? The first person's my mom again?
Wow.
It's like Tangled.
Yeah. So we went back and forth until it got to the point where we started raising our voices. She spat out some insults about me being a bad mom for being away for so long and how she should be his mom because he doesn't need a mom like me. I simply told her that she isn't going to be seeing him anymore because I'm not comfortable with him calling her mom. We gathered his stuff and left after that. She blew up my phone for days, talked some mess to family members, and anything she could do to make me look and feel bad. But I refused to forgive her, especially after all that stuff she said. Am I the a-hole? Edit for those of you saying I abandoned him. I didn't. I was too sick to take care of him. That's all I'm going to say about that. I couldn't be the best mother to him because of my medical issues. I wanted to be there for him. I didn't just dump him on my mother. I feel the need to explain that because people are getting the wrong idea. It was possible for him to visit, but my mom said it would be best if he didn't see me like that because he'd be too young to understand. And I trusted her, so I didn't allow him to visit. No, I wasn't in a mental hospital or rehab. It was physical health reasons. A lot of you are saying you think I was in rehab because of the way I've worded things on my post. Rather than edit out the original, I'd just like to explain that it's probably not the best wording to use for the situation, and I understand that now. What I meant to say was I felt I needed to be in better health for my son. Getting myself together in my head pretty much means getting better and healthier. I apologize for that. There's another edit here.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
This will probably be my last edit. My son is getting a therapist like a lot of you have recommended. I'm considering working things out with my mother only because I don't want her fighting for custody. Still unsure, though. And there are some comments here with OP clarifying why she was in the hospital. Commenter saying, everyone sucks here. Were you in regular contact or just when you had the time, quote unquote? Did you have a set time when you'd be back, or did she have reason to think you were gone for good? My opinion for right now is everyone sucks here. OP says, I FaceTimed him when I could. I was gone for serious medical issues, so it was hard for me to talk to him sometimes. There was no set time I'd be back. It all depended on when I got better. OP also says, I can't exactly raise my son if I can't even move from a hospital bed. Cool. I had no choice but to leave him with her. I was physically unable to care for him due to my medical problems. I didn't leave him because I felt like it. I've already considered talking it over with my mother. It was possible for my son to see me, but my mom said it would be best if he didn't see me like that because he'd be too young to understand. And I trusted her, so I didn't allow him to visit.
I feel like he would also be too young to understand that it would be a weird and like unusual thing for her to be in that condition.
That's why that's actually even a better reason to bring him, because it's like he is too young to understand.
Yeah.
So it's not going to traumatize him that his mother is hooked up to a bed with a bunch of tubes and wires.
This 3-year-old isn't going to be like, what's wrong?
He's just going to remember that that's his mom.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the point.
Right.
So OP says it was about my physical health, although I can't say my mental health while hospitalized was perfect either. I knew if I said hospitalized, people would start asking why, so I said for personal reasons until people started assuming I'd abandoned him. I probably should have worded that part better. Well, it's just the internet loves filling in the gaps, you know?
With the most terrible options.
Guilty. Third commenter, I've never done the drug. Did he start calling her mom on his own, or did she tell him to call her mom? OP says she told me she told him to call her mommy and that she was his mother, which is so I mean, like, I'm immediately upon hearing that being like, wow, I can't believe I have to cut you off entirely now. That's so crazy.
Oh, what a bummer. It'll just be, and then if the grandma leaves, then it'll just be like in a sitcom when they randomly recast a character and don't mention anything about it. It's like, your mom is now this person, and that's what it is for the rest of your life.
Iron Man 2 did that the best I've ever seen it.
With who?
When Don Cheadle came in, Don Cheadle came in for Terrence Howard.
Oh, okay, I don't know who those people are.
It was just.
I'll take.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. It's like da-na-na-na-na-na. Your mom, played by Betty White. And then she comes on, and everyone's like, "What?" She's like, "Did someone call me mom?" And everyone claps.
Yay!
Exactly.
Betty White's alive.
Yep, she's my grandma.
So my mom told me she told him that she was his mom, and that's how she tricked him. there's an update for the love of all. Update almost 2 months later. I just wanted to start out by saying thank you to everyone for the feedback that you gave me and the judgments. Whether they were negative or positive, I took each and every one of them into deep consideration. I accepted the judgment and indeed realized that I was also being an a-hole. My son has since seen a therapist like a lot of you suggested he should. He's done pretty well, although the therapist suggested he continue therapy for a little longer, considering he's still confused about the situation.
I just don't understand. Who's my mom? Is it her or her?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He knows I'm his mother, but essentially thinks he has 2 moms.
Yeah, he goes to school. He's got, I got 2 moms. They're like, oh, are they lesbians? No.
I got 2 moms. One is real young and one is real old. I got 2.
It's an interesting. Okay.
There you go.
That kid is cool. That kid is so cool.
I got 2 moms, and one of them is my mom's mom, but they're both my moms. I don't really understand how it works.
They're also related. One of my moms is my other mom's mom. So
I can't speak for the rest of the people who commented on this story, but OP, don't let anyone ever tell you were the a-hole in this situation, because your mom literally did psychological damage to your child.
Yeah.
Because she just was like, you're broken and bad, and honestly, you don't even deserve to be a mother. Look at you with your busted body.
Enough for your 3-year-old to have to go to therapy.
For a long time.
All the ops linked up for the picture. Everybody looked busted, injured. That's your mom talking about you. Don't stand for that.
Yep.
I've done my very best to go slow with him and teach him who is his mom and who is his grandmother. Regarding his grandmother, I did what a lot of you suggested and let her FaceTime him every day for a couple hours to not upset him. I did this until an incident involving her came up. I am taking this to court. As much as I hate to further upset my son, I have come to the conclusion that she no longer needs to be in contact with us, at least not for a while. I'm sorry for all of you that this disappoints. I just want to do what's best for my son. And by the way, you can always do what's best by going to your favorite podcast platform and searching OK Storytime to listen to every single episode your heart could ever want. All you got to do is just go to wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, etc. And
yeah, do it.
There's
do it or else.
There's a little bit left. Okay, OP says, long story short, she tried to take him from me. She tried to take him from me in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh. Burglar.
Incident alert. Yeah.
Yeah. She's trying to be like Mother Gothel.
And now I bet all those people who said you were both a-holes feel pretty freaking stupid right about now.
Yeah. Stupid.
You have to be a different kind of crazy and a different kind of just despicable to pull what her mom pulled on her.
Yeah, I mean, she literally watched any Rapunzel movie, read any Rapunzel story, and was like, what a great life to live.
The little boy's like, flower gleaming.
Yeah, exactly. He grows out his hair super long.
He's like Finn from Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Literally straight out of the book of bad guys.
Yeah.
I didn't ask my childhood friend to be my bridesmaid. Now she thinks I'm terrible.
Well, you aren't terrible because I ever wanted my whole life to be your bridesmaid. Dang it.
We're best friends. I, 26 female, am engaged to my fiance, 27 male. We've been together almost 10 years and are getting married this summer at my grandparents' home since they have the space and it saves us a ton of money. By the way, this comes from International P 2863. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, now for the issue. I have a childhood friend. We'll call her Bethany, 25 female. Our families have known each other forever, but I have never been a big fan of Bethany, and I don't think she's ever really liked me either. I'll try to give a few background details to paint a better picture. Growing up, she was usually loud and exaggerated, and I was a bit more shy and reserved. She would tell everyone that I was bullying her because I wouldn't hang out with her during our family get-togethers. This didn't really become anything as we were so young, but it always made me feel bad and guilty and she would never forget to remind me of how awful I was as a child. Looking back, I really don't think I ever did anything to her, and my brother agrees with me. But maybe we are biased and have poor memories. Regardless, I have apologized so many times for how I made her feel when we were kids. I think this guilt is why I've tried to keep her as a friend despite the below. Bethany always said she hated my cousin Lily, who is the same age as me and who I was extremely close with as a kid. As adults, she still makes snarky comments about her to me, which I just don't get. And I roll my eyes before moving on to another topic of discussion. She's the type of girl to always put other girls down when she's around guys. It was constant and obviously about the male gaze.
Is that the pick me?
Yeah.
Is that pick me, pick me?
Pick me,
Don't
pick
pick her.
me, pick me.
Don't pick her, pick me.
She did it to me and to any girl she seemed threatened by. But we would just let it roll off our shoulders to avoid stirring the pot. She's also always had a huge crush on my older brother, 28 male. When he got together with my best friend Amelia in college, Bethany immediately started being a butt hat to Amelia. Snarky comments, disrespect, and this habit of becoming physically aggressive with my brother, even though he's made it very clear he doesn't like it. One night, she was grabbing him and being weirdly aggressive, and after he pushed her off, she went up to Amelia and said something like, "Gosh, his arms just feel so good when he tries to fight back."
Huh? Excuse me?
I hate that so much about that. I hate so much
Ugh.
about that sentence you chose
That's-
to say.
That's where I stop her and say, what?
Gross and disrespectful towards both of them. As adults, I distanced myself from Bethany because I didn't want the negativity or drama. She remained close friends with my twin brother, 26 male, who is so I still saw her semi-often. 3 to 4 years ago, she moved across the country, and now we rarely talk. Occasionally texts at most. When she visits, we see her for maybe 20 minutes. Last winter, she visited after my brother invited her to stay the weekend, and she told a random stranger on a gondola that she's only friends with me, yes, literally pointing at me, because of my ski house. Completely unprompted. This poor stranger awkwardly laughed before Bethany started talking about something else. I didn't comment because I hate awkward confrontation, but I definitely thought it was odd and rude. When I got engaged, I knew Amelia would be my maid of honor, and that Lily and 4 other close friends, including my fiance's sister, would be my bridesmaids. I went back and forth for literally 2 months about whether to ask Bethany just because of our history, and because I didn't want to hurt her feelings by not asking her. Everyone close to me, fiance, brothers, friends, said those were not good enough reasons, and that if I didn't really want her to be a bridesmaid, that was a-okay. We are simply not close anymore, so I didn't ask her. My mom threw us an engagement party with a strict max of 50 people. My huge family, who all live nearby, filled most of that, so it ended up being just the wedding party and family. Tons of close friends didn't make the list. Bethany didn't even come home for her own brother's engagement party the month before, so I didn't invite her. Bethany eventually asked if we were having an engagement party. I told her yes, gave her all the details, and warmly invited her if she'd be in town. She even joked about how funny it would be if she came home for my engagement party and not her brother's. She didn't come. A week later, she texted me, "I understand not picking me as a bridesmaid, but I just feel like it would have been nice to have gotten a heads up that all of our friends were except me. On top of that, I wasn't even invited to your engagement party. I'm really hurt. Parentheses, not mad." My heart sank. I thanked her for sharing her feelings, apologized, and explained the bridal party numbers and the engagement party's capacity limit. I'll admit I wasn't brutally honest about the actual state of our friendship because I didn't feel the need to hurt her more. I really don't think being honest would help her, and it would just be hurtful. So I excused the decision as keeping the wedding parties even. She replied, "I just wish you gave me some respect with a heads up and had this convo with me before I read it on a website. I just thought our history should have warranted that." This annoyed me a bit. I genuinely don't think it's normal to have formal conversations telling friends that you aren't asking them to be bridesmaids. I have friends I'm closer with who weren't offended at all. I apologized again and left it there. Then, one of my bridesmaids told me that Bethany called her out of the blue and said, if I'm not a bridesmaid, I don't think I can come to the wedding because I don't know where I would stay. Which shocked me because being a bridesmaid doesn't entitle anyone to stay at my grandparents' house. My huge family fills their home with everyone already, doubling up on beds and air mattresses. I also picked out probably 20 places in the area that are all different price ranges for guests to look at on my website and got a discount at the most convenient hotel nearby. I'm just a bit shocked she would say she might not even come if she's not a bridesmaid. My twin brother told me Bethany has been messaging him, and it seems like she's really only upset about not being included and feeling embarrassed that she's not part of the bridal party. Not the state of our relationship. I know I haven't been honest with her about how I feel, but we have obviously drifted apart over the years, and that happens with friendships. It doesn't mean we're not friends or won't be in each other's lives. I just can't help but imagine myself in her shoes. I do feel bad for my decision, but I could never imagine expecting a heads up about something like this. Kind of an odd situation that I'm just looking for some outside perspective on because I'm not sure I'm just living in an echo chamber. So, am I the a-hole for not asking her to be a bridesmaid and not giving her a heads up, even though we aren't close, and her behavior over the years made the decision pretty clear to me? Should I be more honest with how I really feel? We have some comments.
Yeah, don't you guys all like make letters to everyone you know and have ever like been even relatively close with? Just like, hey, heads up. Just need to let you know you're not part of my bridal party.
Personally, I write handwritten notes every year with a status update and a new ranking.
Yeah.
No!
I hand deliver them.
You hand deliver
I
those?
hand deliver. I walk the earth.
I'm still snail mailing them out.
Yeah. Pony Express.
No, you do not owe anybody to be like, by the way, I'm not going to ask you to be my bridesmaid. Because you're obviously not close. She literally said, I'm only friends with her because she has a ski house.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We got some comments. Comment 1. You aren't obligated to make someone you're not close to a bridesmaid just so you don't hurt their feelings. And you aren't obligated to give her an explanation either. You already apologized for making her feel that way. Let it go. She's trying to extort her way onto the bridal party with her idle threat now. Just let it be. If she does go to your wedding, she will 100% do or say something to make it uncomfortable for you and others there by trying to make herself the victim as to why she wasn't a bridesmaid. She's doing you a favor by not going. In fact, if she does keep up her behind-the-scenes behavior, I'd reach out and tell her exactly why she is not on the bridal party and end it. She's not a real friend. She's an acquaintance that has been difficult at best your whole life, not the a-hole. Comment 2. Not the a-hole, but why are you still tolerating her, pushing you around, and making snide comments? If you don't enjoy her company, why do you tolerate it? You're an adult now, and the great thing about being an adult, if you don't want to deal with a person, especially a bully like her, you don't have to. Stop letting her push you down. Block her and realize that once you stand up for yourself, you will feel a weight lift from your shoulders. OP responds, you're so right. Honestly, I needed to read all of these comments saying this. And by the way, you can read even more comments like this in full episodes of stories just like this.
You can read the comments we say out loud after you
we
write
will
them.
tell them to you. In fact, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast. Just search up OK Storytime. We have just a little bit left.
I think I would do that thing, that comment that said, yeah, you should just send her the message telling her why she's not your bridesmaid. I would just do that regardless if she keeps up her behavior or not. I'd just be like, hey, I just want to make it clear. This weird crap you're doing right now is exactly why you're not my bridesmaid.
Hey, we're not going to go messaging and calling my other bridesmaids because you're upset that you didn't get to be one?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Hey, remember that time when you said you are only friends with me because of my ski house?
Sorry.
And, like, you kind of are?
My bridesmaids are friends with me for more than just my ski house, so I guess that's what cut you out.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm friends with anyone where I can't tell if they meant that or not, you're not my bridesmaid.
That's crazy.
We have an update though. Thank you for all the advice and comments. As for those of you saying I need to grow up and stop being her friend, I have left a lot of details out that would probably lead to some more compassion, as Bethany does not have the easiest home and family life. But that doesn't mean she can treat others like this. I appreciate everything you have all said and will definitely stop feeling the need to allow her to treat me or the people I care about like this. I really needed to hear the harsh truth and brutal honesty you guys shared. Thank you. That is the end of that story.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wowie zowie.
Yeah, stop being her friend.
I mean,
I don't think we need to be.
My ex refused to support our daughter, so I'm claiming full custody. She's not your daughter anymore. I, 41 female, have 4 children with 3 different fathers. I was married to my first husband for 15 years, and we have 2 children together. We divorced, and I moved across the country and met the main subject of this post. We'll call him Beckett, 45 male, who I have my daughter, May, 10 female, with. And now I am married to my current husband, Dean, 40 male, with whom I have 1 child. By the way, this comes from Aggressive Grr 8812. And if you'd like to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Sophia.
And we are here to give some good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We would only tell you what we would do in this situation, and we would love to know what you would do in the comments. During my first divorce, I moved as far away from my husband as I could. I pulled up a map of the U.S., closed my eyes, and shook my mouse. It landed on the state, and I did the same thing when I chose the city I moved to. To say I didn't know anyone is an understatement. I transferred my job so I was able to start meeting people at work and learning the new city. After a while, I started using dating apps, and Beckett and I matched. After talking for about a week, he met me at my job when I got off, and it was an instant attraction and connection. He let me know that he had literally just gotten out of prison after 10 years and that he was working on being a different person.
I'm sorry. He just got out of prison after 10. Okay, well, I was about to say, and he's like trying to get into a relationship. I would understand if you just got out of prison and you were like looking to hook up with someone. I don't know if you're necessarily ready for like a committed relationship.
It's so weird to like think about like people in prison being there for 10 years of your life and then coming to like the world again. I am someone who believes everyone should have a second chance, especially if they have served the time they were sentenced to. He love bombed me, of course he did, and I quickly fell in love with him. We were great for almost 2 years before things went sideways. He started using hard substances and it just snowballed. As you can imagine, I found out I was pregnant, and not a month later, he was arrested for firearm by a felon and a parole violation. While he was locked up in federal holding, I went to see him every week like clockwork. I put money on his books when he asked and never missed a visit. The day after I had our daughter, we were there. After about a year in holding, he was sentenced to 120 months, 10 years in federal prison.
Another 10 years?
Okay, we moved back to my hometown, and he was sent to a prison about 4 hours from us. It's important to note here that he has money, and my parents sold him our family home so that the kids and I would have a stable place to live. He spent about $65,000 on the home and property. Again, like clockwork, every weekend we would pack up and make the 4-hour trip to spend 3 to 5 hours with him. During this time, he would have me do things that were not legal. But I did them because I loved him and trusted him fully. Hindsight, I know. After being in for about 6 months, he said he didn't love me and that I could keep the home since it was bought for May and me as our family home. After this, he completely cut contact with me. I couldn't email him, letters were not returned, and there were no phone calls. It was a period of no contact. After about 5 months of this, I moved on. I continued to send him pictures and updates on her progress monthly, like a newsletter that basically stated what foods she liked, her favorite shows, new words, etc. I met my current husband, and we moved slowly, but he and May absolutely loved each other.
Okay, that's good.
When she started calling him daddy, I didn't stop it since Beckett had gone, no contact. Beckett started calling again when May was around 4. But when he didn't get his way, or I wouldn't give in to his advances, he said I can turn my back on her like I did my other 3 kids. Calls happened for about 3 months, but after hearing for the 3rd time that he could do it, I said, let me help you out with that, and hung up. We were no contact again. When May turned 9, he started calling and emailing again. He apologized and said that he had been going through programs and realized how his actions and words were self-absorbed, hurtful, and childish. After several conversations and learning of his upcoming release date, I set a few ground rules that I would stand firm on before allowing him to speak to her. I have never wanted to keep him away from her. I believe children deserve to have relationships with their parents, but I am also going to protect my children from unnecessary hurt and stress. First, if you're going to be in her life, be there. You don't show up and then drop off and magically appear later. It's not going to happen. If it happens once, there won't be another opportunity. I will cut contact, period. No substances, booze, gang-related or illegal activities at, near, or around our daughter, period. No unhealthy relationships around her. I do not want her around anyone who is there long enough to get intimate and then leave. Keep that to your own time. He agreed. I again went through the driving to visitation and making sure they got phone calls and emails. By the time he was released, he had moved to another state about 10 hours away. When he was released into a halfway house, I paid for us to fly up so she could spend the week of his birthday with him. I was there the whole time. They have had constant contact and we communicate regularly for school and other things May is involved in. During the summer, I let her spend the month of her birthday with him. He got her for 1 month and I had her for the month before school. Then the week of Thanksgiving happened. This is where things get sticky. He moved in with a woman he's literally known for 2 months. I have no issues with her. She seems to be a good person and mother as well. May wasn't thrilled with the idea, but I explained that I thought it was good for her dad and that from our conversations, she seemed to be a smart and friendly person. Initially, since I wasn't working, I was going to go up and spend the week with the family and he could pick her up there. However, I had finally gotten a job the week before, and if I had asked for that week off, I wouldn't have gotten the job. Financial stability was more important to me, so I decided to meet them halfway on Saturday and then again the next Saturday. My oldest, Leah, 21 female, met me at the halfway point. He called me the next day, Sunday, to tell me I should have gone through her bag because she didn't have anything warm to wear and it was cold there. To be honest, this was partially my fault. I honestly didn't think about it. The weather where we live had been in the 80s, so I didn't think about it being cold up there. He was basically complaining because he had to buy her some warm clothes. This is where the headline starts coming in. He doesn't pay child support. Every time I've asked for money, he just doesn't have any. Or he has to wait on the trust to deposit some money for him. I stopped asking. I got so frustrated, I sent $60 and told him to pick her up some stuff. If my half went past that, I told him to send me receipts, and I would send whatever else I owe. I apologized and let it go. Now he wants her for the entire Christmas and New Year's school break. No. I said no. He's had her for all the major holidays this year and her birthday, and that holidays are important to me too. I agreed to let her go up for the week of Christmas, but I wanted her home for New Year's, which I think is fair. Split holidays. I don't mind letting her spend time with him, but the problem is I've always been the one who puts the effort and money into these things. I gave my oldest money for gas, food, and even money for their sibling date. When I asked for a little help, which is hard enough for me already, he says he just can't right now, or I'm waiting for the deposit.
And when you say, okay, you can't do it, then you can't have her for those days.
And then nothing ever comes my way. It's frustrating. He says it's hurtful that she calls my husband daddy. I said that's the only daddy she has known most of her life. Also, not my fault. The only money he has provided was when he purchased the home, about a lifetime amount of $10,000. Well, you have a lifetime of listening to full episodes and stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. I should also mention that since moving a little over a year ago, we have lived with my parents while in the process of purchasing a home close to them. They are not doing well health-wise, and we moved here to help with basic everyday living. I didn't want them going into any nursing or assisted living facility. They've done a lot for me in my life, and my mom wanted and needed me here to help take care of my dad after he had fallen and broken his hip. 3 months later, fell and broke his neck. Oh, I didn't move because he was getting out of prison. May thrives in school here, much better than she did in our hometown. Overall, it was really the best decision. Someone said it would be risky of me to do this because I am still living with my mother and that he could try to take primary custody of her. I'm curious if this is an actual thing. My kids need for nothing and want for almost nothing. They are healthy both physically and mentally. They're not mistreated or getting into trouble, legal or otherwise. I have never missed a day with her. I have been there from day one and want nothing but the best for her. He hasn't been around and is trying to step on lines that have already been drawn. Would I be in the wrong to go to court to get a child custody and support case open against him?
No, absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely should have done that ages ago. Should
Yeah.
have done that the second that she was born. Absolutely get a child custody agreement. Again, even though I think it is good that he has some measure of relationship with his daughter, it absolutely should be like, you should have protection.
Those things are put in place for situations like this, you know? So, like, if you feel threatened, if you feel uncomfortable, if you want to feel some sort of, like, comfort and stability, then yes, like, definitely go and get it. I don't think that you're the a-hole for wanting to protect your child or, you in that sense. I think this guy is very unstable and has been in and out of prison for most of his life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, like he's cool, he knows what he's doing, when he obviously just has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
My father offered me his business, but with one crazy condition.
How crazy is it?
I have always been the scapegoat of my family, while my brother has always been the golden child. Long story short, he could never do any wrong and learned my parents' manipulative, self-absorbed behavior and grew up to be like them, but with one exception, he is incredibly lazy. By the way, this comes from user Writer's Block Squared. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here. Give good advice goofily. Because we don't know all the answers. We only know some things, right? So let us know the things that you know. He lives with our parents, doesn't pay any bills, and has only ever had one job, which was given to him by our dad. My dad pays him to do work that he has openly admitted is very lackluster. My brother barely got his GED after dropping out of high school, and he recently got another part-time job through my dad that he is also doing poorly at. After college, I moved away to another state. I worked as a teacher for a few years, had kids, and eventually decided it would be best for my family if we moved closer to home. We wanted to be near connections and support, and I also reached out to my dad to tell him I was interested in taking over the business if that was something he wanted. He told me that it was exactly what he wanted. Since then, I've been flying back and forth constantly to get licenses and learn the business so I could apprentice and eventually take over. The last time I flew out, it was to obtain a license that my dad had pushed my brother into getting. My brother failed that test 6 times before finally passing, and then refused to do any of the work that license required. I passed it on the first try. I later mentioned to my dad that I was unsure how my brother would react to me taking over the business. My dad's response was that he should ask my brother if he wants it first, and that maybe we could co-own it. I told my dad that I was extremely apprehensive about co-owning a business with someone who has zero work ethic. My dad insisted that quote-unquote survival mode would whip my brother into shape. First of all, being made the co-owner of a business is the opposite of survival mode. Survival mode is you are now unemployed and you have 2 weeks to find somewhere to live. That is survival mode.
Ooh, do we go through with this? If you were OP, do you is there going to be any budging on no, he's got to work for me? He's going to be lucky enough to be working here because he's negligent and doesn't do anything.
Well, OP sounds smart enough to probably have a very solid contract put into place. And honestly, it sounds like you could just convince the brother that he doesn't want to work there anyway, that he doesn't want to be a co-owner.
I can see
It's
the brother.
yeah.
No, I can see the brother totally be doing the totally different, opposite. Because the brothers don't going to work there now. The brothers just be a peeve. Just
well, no, that's the thing that's where the contract comes into play.
Oh, well, yeah.
You have all these stipulations where it's A, B, C, and D in the contract. And if you're not doing those, you can be released from your co-owner position at will.
I don't think Daddy is going to approve this.
So I told him I didn't believe that for a second. What I see happening is me doing all the work and getting half the pay, while my brother coasts like he always has. My dad told me today that he spoke with my brother and that my brother was wishy-washy about it. He then said he would talk to him again to try to work something out. That is not what we agreed upon. It sounds much more like he's trying to convince my brother to accept co-ownership rather than seeing if he wants it outright, so my dad can absolve himself of guilt for passing it to me alone. Here's the part that's driving me insane. I knew this would happen. I told my wife that my dad would absolutely choose my brother, who has no children to support, over me. My wife believes my dad cares more about his legacy than I'm giving him credit for. She thinks I could lean into that and explain that the business will fail if my brother is involved. I've tried to explain to her as gently as possible that being the child of a self-absorbed person teaches you one thing very clearly:
No amount of logic, reasoning, or trying to decipher their motivations actually changes anything. Scapegoats cannot just play the game. No matter what I say or do, my parents will always choose my brother over me, over logic, over their grandchildren, and even over their own legacy. They would rather sabotage everything than risk choosing me. They would accept less contact with my kids, destroy the business, or tarnish their own reputation if it meant not breaking their pattern. There is no hope of changing this dynamic. This is simply how it goes for scapegoats. So because my wife can't fully understand this reality, and honestly, I'm glad she doesn't, I thought I'd share it here. Maybe you can help me feel less insane. Maybe someone has lived this exact story and knows something I don't. And truly ask me anything. Thank you for reading. And we have an update from 16 days later.
I think we've said our piece. Like, if it's really not, if they're not budging and, you know, they're really going to just let your brother coast and be the golden child, if you don't think it's worth to put up with OP, and you know what, you can be sufficient and take care of yourself, and you don't want to deal with it, I think you know your option.
I finally spoke to my dad, and he gave me an answer. He said that my brother told him he was interested in the business, but that he didn't know how much that really meant. In other words, my brother is leading him on. My dad fully intends to leave the door open for my brother to assume 50% ownership of the business at any point, even if he never puts in any work. I told my dad that my brother is clearly leading him on and asked if he was willing to tell him the business would go to me if he continued doing that. My dad said he was not willing to do that. Instead, he suggested a trial run after which I could go start my own business if I didn't like working with my brother. So he suggested you can actually be his mentor and run his apprenticeship so that then he can run the business.
Insane.
And then you can build another thing from the ground up for yourself.
That's insane.
Living near my parents is only financially viable if I have sole ownership of the business, and my dad knows this. I told him there is no trial run. Either I move closer and have full ownership, or we look elsewhere in the country. He seemed genuinely confused by this. I explained that I have to choose between teaching, which aligns perfectly with raising kids, and taking over a business I know nothing about in an expensive area with my brother who has already undercut me before. He asked me for an example of my brother undercutting me, which I gave. My dad suggested that maybe my brother has matured since then. Stop moving the goalposts, Dad.
That's it. It's the golden child. The self-absorbed parents, they're gonna keep moving the goalpost indefinitely. There's no stoppage to it. They're always gonna keep protecting the brother. OP knows this. OP just like, all right, if you're just not gonna, at this point, I think I can see where OP's coming from. There's no point for OP to keep continuing this. And you know what? That legacy is gonna be an embarrassment to them. That's not on OP. That's on the brother.
I think this is the moment that this is where you start strong arming. You go, this is what's happening, or it's not happening. And that's the end of the story. I told my dad he wasn't going to convince me that my brother had matured. I said that since he has decided to leave the door open for my brother, I'm leaning towards teaching elsewhere. That's when he started to sound scared and asked why I wouldn't just give it a chance. I told him I had already explained why. I also told him that if he ends up selling the business, he should still be proud that it served its purpose by providing for his family. And I meant that sincerely, with no spite or passive aggression. That sincerity seemed to scare him more than anything, because it showed him he no longer had leverage over me. We ended the call with him saying we could talk more later. I told him he's free to talk as much as he wants, but that I already had my answer and would start making plans for my family. We do plan to move only a couple of hours away, but I'm not telling him that. I'm letting him believe that his choices are the reason we might settle far away. My mom has no idea that I was ever offered the business. If she found out that my dad's decisions were the reason she wouldn't see her grandkids regularly, she would be furious. I briefly considered using that to my advantage, but I've decided I'd rather just teach. Business isn't worth it. But by the way, something that's always worth it is listening to full episodes with stories like this one on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. All you have to do is search OK Storytime, and you got them all there, just waiting for you to listen to them. And we've got a little bit more story to listen to here.
I think just finish it. I think we've said our piece, and OP has said their piece.
Dude.
And they, you know what? There are people like this out there. It's just ridiculous. So I feel for you, OP, and you know what? Do what makes you happy and gives you the least amount of headaches.
Yeah. You did it right. You did it right. You did it tight. Instead, I'm dropping subtle hints to my mom that we're considering settling far away. I know she'll tell my dad, and it will make him sweat more over time. He tried to manipulate me into taking care of my inept brother, and now he's stuck with the consequences. He can't sell the business because he offered it to my brother, and my brother will keep delaying. My dad will likely work until he physically can't anymore just to keep the door open for my brother, and it will all be for nothing. I'll be watching the chaos from a distance, knowing I chose what's best for my children. And I'll leave you with this. Nothing scares the crap out of a narc more than your freedom. And that is the end of that story.
Yeah. Good luck, OP.
Yeah, I mean, even if he is the way that, you say that he is, then I'm sure if you did take over the business, he would just be continuing to run it through you like as a proxy. So you would never escape. He would then, he'd be double checking all your stuff all the time. He's not going to walk away from it like that.
He saw you as a literal tool. Like, all right, this is going to make his, like, the golden child get the business, set him up, and he'll be fine on his own.
But that is the end of that story. And we've got another one.
I refuse to host my ex for Christmas along with his other children.
You're all getting coal.
My ex-husband and I have been divorced for just over 5 years now. Our divorce was extremely difficult for me and our kids, who are currently aged 11 and 9, because we did not part on good terms. By the way, this comes from Carrie's. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. NOP says, at the time I asked for a divorce. I had just learned that he had been cheating on me for several years.
Several years?
And was being DNA tested for 6 potential children.
That's too many children.
That he may have fathered during our marriage.
What? How are they only potential? That's crazy.
How are they only
You can't have
potential?
6 potential children. You get 1 potential child. You get maybe 2.
One
But
is too
Sophia,
many.
a child's potential is limitless.
No, all the
Come
other
on,
children don't
Sophia.
have potential.
You're limiting these children.
They're going to end up
At
working
what?
at traffic court.
That is the worst job you could
Yeah.
have picked.
That's where they're going. No potential.
My ex-husband ran through every excuse for what he did and attempted numerous times to convince me to stay. But I was not having it. I called time on our marriage as soon as I knew what he had been doing. 5 of the 6 potential kids turned out to be his.
Dang! 5 out of 6?
And he attempted to involve me in discussions with their mothers. I told him none of that had anything to do with me. I have never spoken to those women, and I have never spoken to those children either. But that was not it when it came to all of his children. It turned out he already knew about 2 other children who were biologically his and were born during our marriage.
Got 8 other kids?
7.
7? I thought we were at 6 plus 2.
Only 5 of the 6 were biologically
Right,
his.
you're so right. I forgot about that. We're at 7 kids.
Almost 8.
From like different women?
Yeah.
That's too many.
They ended up living with him a year after our divorce, and their mother does not appear to be around. He has had 5 other children on top of that,
What?
and 2 of them also live with him full time. The other kids, I do not know if he sees them or not. I just know they exist. He sees our children 1 weekend a month.
Oh my god, he also has your kids. How many kids do they have?
I don't even know anymore.
How many kids do they have?
You got
There's
that many
approximately
kids?
15 kids for him.
You got to run a
15
farm. You got that
kids?
many kids.
15
There's somewhere
kids?
between the 12 to 15 range of kids, I think.
Oh my god.
And he is not very involved. The only thing he will do is call and try to make plans for us to spend time together as a family. And I always shut him down and remind him that we are no longer a family. He never wants to speak to or see the kids, though. He is always trying to involve me in that. Despite the bad blood between us, I remained on reasonably good terms with his parents, and they see the kids. My kids love their grandparents, but now we are having issues because they feel it would be better for the kids if both sides came together for Christmas.
Both sides of what? The hexagon? The freaking hexagon that is his his family of children?
Yeah. And for me to host my ex-husband
No.
and his children,
Nope.
whichever children he has on the day, and for us to function as a family who are there for each other.
Immediate no.
I told him
Immediate no.
that was not happening, and that I was not pretending he or those other kids of his are my family. They told me I should not hold so much spite for him and the kids, and that as a mother, I should want my kids to know their siblings, whether full or half. They even offered to buy the turkey for us as a sign of helping to make it work. I still said no. They wanted more reasons, and I told them I did not have to give any reason and that my answer was still the same. In truth, this whole idea is awful, in my opinion. I hate my ex, and spending the entire day with him in front of our kids could unfairly burden them with my feelings. They do not need to see any of the issues between us. Having him and his kids over would also mean buying presents for his kids, which is not something I want to start adding to my plate. I have nothing to do with those kids. But by the way, you can have everything to do with us by listening to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. Just a little bit left. Can you imagine? What if he had every other kid that day?
He's got all 15.
Yeah.
Or 12, I guess.
It's 12. It's a dodecagon.
12 including?
Or dodecahedron.
12 including
Is 12
OP's
including
kids?
OP's kids?
No,
So it's like 14.
but he doesn't get those kids.
No, but they'll
They're
be at
his
her
kids.
house.
We're not letting him at those.
But when
Ugh.
when they all come to her house, they'll be there.
They'll all be there. They're all going to
14
be there.
kids, the ex-in-laws and the ex-husband.
Oh, boy.
I don't think all the kids will be there.
Well, he
I just
doesn't
think
have
he had-
contact
I
with all
was
the
just
kids.
saying
Yeah,
that what
if-
if
yeah.
he had every single
Yeah,
one?
Yeah,
it would
worst
be.
case
It would be
scenario.
14.
Yeah.
14 kids
Yeah.
show up.
Merry
Dang.
Christmas.
Yeah, no, hold
Dress them
your
all
ground.
like elves.
And then make them work for you.
Not to mention, the ones he has all the time have no relationship with their mothers, and any chance that he could lie to them and say, I am going to be their new mom, is something I want to prevent. He already tries to make us a family, so that is a concern of mine. I could never be motherly or even have a familial relationship with his other children. That is never going to happen. Does my refusal to do this make me the a-hole? I am asking because I know we always say to put the kids first, and I believe this is the way to do it, so they do not see or hear any of the troubles between me and their dad. I believe this is the best way to not get their hopes up, if they have any, for us to be a family again. We have some comments. But no.
No. No. I think you got to distance even more.
Yeah.
We got to be like, no, I don't want any interaction with your children, your brood. Do we have a legal kind of custody agreement?
OP has them for all except for one weekend.
Okay, yeah.
And it sounds as though dad may still just come to them.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
We don't need any more.
Or we collect all of them. All 14.
Take 'em
basketball
home.
team.
You're right. You're right
Plus
about that.
some. Comment 1. If the father or grandparents want to have the family of the kids together at Christmas, it should be arranged and hosted by them, not one of the mothers. OP says, that's a very good idea. The reason they won't is it goes against the overall wish to turn me into a family member to him again and to his other children. Someone replies, this is exactly the agenda. He and his parents see a mental movie in which your house is fragrant with the smell of the feast you cooked for all of them. Holiday tunes playing softly, the kids all playing happily. Then, after everyone is full, but before you clean up the tornado all on your own, of course, he turns to you and says, isn't this cozy? Doesn't it just feel meant to be? He takes you in his arms. You both gaze lovingly at the brood he's sired, and boom, he's got a maid and a mother figure who can raise them all for him. It's nauseating, isn't it? Comment 2.
Dang, that comment really painted a picture.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Not the a-hole. Good grief. Okay, Charlie Brown.
Good grief, Charlie Brown.
Your former in-laws appear delusional. They just want you to host Christmas and run after the kids. If I'm counting right, he has 14 kids in total?
Yes.
I do hope their Christmas present to him this year is a vasectomy.
Truly, someone said in the chat, what's his child support like or something? Excellent question.
Excellent.
How is he funding child support for 14 kids?
Well, I think around 5 of them are just his full time because mom's not in the picture.
Dang. So he's funding. Okay, so he's supporting the lives of 5 kids full time, and then
2 part-time,
2 part time.
and I guess the rest also part-time.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We don't know that custody agreement. but-
Dude, that's insane. Like, having enough money to support 2 kids
What's crazy
is expensive.
is the fact that he has 7 different custody agreements.
That's so crazy.
OP says 14 that I know about. That's an important distinction because he could have others I don't yet know about or that he doesn't know about. Comment 3, not the a-hole. They're living in a dream if they think any of this is okay. I wouldn't blame you if you never spoke to him again. OP said, I only speak to him when it's required for our kids. Mostly that's not even directly talking, but messaging through an app to help us co-parent better. That's the end of that.
I just found out I am pregnant while my eldest child is critically ill.
Terrible timing.
I'm a woman in my 30s and just found out I am pregnant. My eldest child is currently in an induced coma due to a post-surgical complication after a planned procedure.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
I'm praying for you. The timing is insane, and I feel like I'm experiencing a massive amount of emotions due to these conflicting situations. By the way, this comes from Critical Biscuit, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Stories on subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, not medical advice, like this story. But if you guys have any medical advice you could put in the chat, please do, or anything else you'd like to add. On one hand, I am terrified I will lose my child. Their status is more stable today than it was a week ago, but their condition is still extremely serious. Doctors are hopeful that they will make a full recovery. On the other hand, having more children is something we very much want as a family. We have been married for over 10 years and already have a child as well. The timing of this pregnancy is completely unexpected. I guess, yeah, having a kid in your 30s, you already have one.
Well, 2, I think. I think they said that
Oh,
they have
have
another
2?
child. Yeah.
Oh, they're having 3.
Yeah. So it's his 3rd child, and you have already, one child who is very ill. That is a lot to take in.
This might give some hope, OP. The type of stories I hear about this is when a woman goes up in church and is given like her testimony or like something that has happened that's amazing. And they'll start with a hardship like this.
Yeah.
And it ends beautifully.
Yeah, so I feel like it's going to end great for you.
I hope. It's not looking so good right now.
Yeah.
How can I feel happy when I also feel so deeply sad and scared at the same time? Anyways, Happy New Year. I'm just sharing this to the void. We have some comments. TJ Klein09 says, oh, honey, I cannot imagine all the thoughts currently rolling around in your head. Do yourself a small favor. Take a few deep breaths. You are no good to yourself or any of your children if you're constantly in a frazzled state. Understand what is going on with your child is going to be a day-to-day situation, but you need to take care of yourself as best as possible so you can be present and healthy for the information the doctors need to give you. I know that sounds easier said than done, but having people come and visit you or bring you snacks can really help. Are there people in your life who can do that? Do you have people to talk to? If not, hospitals usually have social workers who are excellent with these situations. Ask a nurse about having one come to see you. Although I have never been in your position, I have been through the same difficult things and had to reach out for help. It is incredibly hard to do, but it is also incredibly important. And often people want to truly help you. From another mom, please know that you are doing the absolute best you can right now. Big internet hugs, if that's okay. Edit big internet hugs and not bugs. I am leaving it here because I hope it makes you laugh.
Big internet bugs. I hope they make you happy.
The viruses.
Yeah.
Yeah, now she has a virus on her
Yeah,
phone.
dang it. No.
Thanks, commenter. Oh, he says, thank you for the laugh and the internet hugs. Our friend group has really rallied around us as we do not have much family here. Our village is small, but we are incredibly grateful for the support we have received. The hospital also has been great about offering support. It's not a great situation to be in, but we are comforted by the kindness we have received. Thank you again. Update 11 months later.
I think it's going to be okay. I think OP right now is just feeling guilty for feeling happy and also scared.
When she's supposed to be in a season of like sadness.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But also there's not really much you can do about like people can tell you, oh, it's okay to feel happy and scared at the same time, but it's still is confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everything will be okay.
My uncle got in a really bad accident, a car accident when I was 10, and like I think every week or every few days we had to drive all the way down to Charlotte to see him. And I always had a good time because there was like family there. We were playing cards and we were just hanging out with the family.
Yeah. It's like having like fun at a funeral. Like you're having like a nice conversation with someone at a funeral.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, I should be somber. This is like a sad time. But, happiness can be found even in the darkest of places. So
I posted this on a page almost a year ago after finding out I was pregnant while my eldest child was in the ICU fighting for their life. I thought it might be nice to share an update that is actually very positive
Yay!
and truly a best outcome case.
Yay!
After a 58-day hospital admission,
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
we're going to have to start paying rent there. My eldest child was able to come home. Her recovery was long and had its challenges, but she's doing much better now. After returning home, we had to switch her care to a local children's hospital. They were able to intervene and create a new medical plan for both short-term and long-term management of some of her chronic health conditions. We feel incredibly supported now and confident that we are in good hands with our new care team. The overall experience was very traumatic for our family, but we received tremendous support from close friends, and thankfully, we got through it all together. Being newly pregnant while having another child in critical condition was extremely difficult. The hormones added to an already heightened emotional state, and dealing with symptoms like morning sickness while being away from home was not easy. Hospital food especially was awful, with dealing with nausea and food aversions. Despite everything happening at the time, the baby did well, and
Yay!
I had an otherwise unremarkable pregnancy.
That's what you want. You want an unremarkable pregnancy when you got a lot going on.
Guys, if you want an unremarkable pregnancy where we give you a child, go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime, click just that, and we will impregnate you
What?
through the platforms of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio.
We can't do that.
So you'll become pregnant with all these great stories.
Okay, we could do that.
Yeah. We have a little bit left here. The only unremarkable pregnancy I heard was from my cousin.
Yeah.
Have I told you about this?
No.
She had Emery. She said it was so easy. It happened in 32 minutes. And she was able to
Grab it.
grab the baby out.
That feels remarkable to me that it's that quick.
Yeah. And that was that easy. And she didn't have to push or
Yeah.
anything.
I would remark on that.
Yeah. She had pictures and she showed it to my mom. I was like, I do not want to see those.
Don't show me.
She's like, you want to see the I'm like, no.
Yeah.
She
She's
she
like, "It's
actually
so
was like,
remark-"
don't look at these, but I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, wild to me. I need to ask her about Elsie if that was the same thing. I don't even know if that was easy or not.
Her other child?
Yeah.
You got to find out.
I'm gonna call her.
Find out which pregnancy was remarkable or not.
Yeah.
We need a list.
I ended up having our third child in August. They are such a bundle of joy and have brought so much happiness and love into our family. There was a point when I truly thought I might be losing one child while gaining another, and that was hard to imagine, to feel happiness and grief at the same time. Thankfully, that was not the outcome. Now I can go into this holiday season with my 3 beautiful children.
Yay!
Last year, we spent Christmas in the hospital. This year, we are beyond excited to be home together. Thank you for reading, and I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year.
That's great.
That was so sweet.
So sweet. You
Wow.
you have 3 beautiful children, and it's the holidays. It's great.
That is great. Yeah, nothing like that really happened to my fam,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Neither in mine, to my knowledge.
Wow. If you guys have something you'd like to share that could maybe help someone out or help yourself out to vent, please comment down below. We'd love to hear it.
But we've got another story, and we're going to get that ready. My brother tried to steal my girlfriend, so I ruined his life.
I was just gonna say steal the girlfriend back, but sure.
To start from the beginning, I'm the youngest of 5, 1 brother and 3 sisters. My eldest and second sister is married, and both are living in Canada. Then there's my brother Tommy, 5 years older than me. Finally, my other sister is 2 years older and works across town. I'm a 27-year-old man living in an apartment with 2 other guys. By the way, this comes from Conflict Top 5262, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, Tommy is the family favorite child. To this day, I'm not entirely sure why. Rave reviews for Tommy. Maybe it's because he's the firstborn son and more like my dad? You see, my dad always wanted a son and is kind of sexist. Tommy was more of a bully to me than a brother. He would constantly undermine me whenever he saw an opportunity to prank me or just straight up abuse me. When I was 15, he threw a bucket of water on my bed, took a picture and sent it out on Facebook to all my friends and classmates saying I wet the bed. He pushed me down the stairs once. He told me I couldn't go to his wedding unless I took the role of a flower girl, and this wasn't a joke. He kept this up for months, even sending out wedding invites to everyone but me, until his fiance at the time, emphasis on at the time, found out, got mad, made him invite me. I'll circle back to her. But the thing he did most was steal from me. Everything I had he would try to take either for himself or just so I wouldn't have it. He convinced my first girlfriend I was cheating on her by showing her a picture of me hugging another woman my age, who was actually my cousin. Stole my PlayStation and my games, my bike, and so on. He's like this because everyone just enables him except my sisters. My father is always saying how proud he is of him, how athletic he was, top of his class, etc. Me, not so much. I was never that athletic in the sense of how my father sees it. I was good at tennis, but my father said that was a woman's sport. I wasn't that great at school, getting mostly C's or B's on good days. I don't share political views with my father or his religious views. For all this, he waves me off a lot of the time. My mother left when I was 3 with some other guy. I have no memories of her. I should mention I'm only a half-sibling to my brother and older sisters, as they had a different mother who passed away in a car crash years before I was born. My oldest sister once told me she believed my mother left because my father always made it clear she was the second wife, that she wasn't as great as his first wife, that he only married her because he knocked her up with my sister. She had enough and ran off with another guy who treated her better. But that's still not an excuse for ditching your kids. So it's just been my dad and the occasional new girlfriend who would break up with him when they saw what an a-hole he was. Now, to skip forward to about 2 years ago, I met this woman who I quickly fell in love with, and we began to date. We got close and started discussing looking for a new place to live together. Her name is Kelly. About 5 months ago, Kelly texted me saying we needed to talk. This was shortly after she met my family when my 2 older sisters came to visit, and we had a family barbecue. When she met up with me, she told me this wouldn't be easy to hear, but my brother tried to hook up with her. And OP said they're like,
yeah, this was expected.
He does that. And she's like, sorry? No, I don't think you heard me. Your brother tried. He's like,
yeah, he's done it before.
He'll do it again.
Probably should have warned you. That's my bad.
Sorry about that. She's been talking with him for a few weeks after they connected at the family get-together, though she saw this as just being friendly, as she'd also been talking to my sister who lives across town. They'd been talking here and there, and he began to flirt, which Kelly didn't really notice at first. Then she thought he was just being playful, then began to feel awkward. He eventually told her that he was a better fit for her than me, that he believed I was a closeted queer man. She was stunned and made an excuse to leave. She told me everything. I was upset, of course, but she was shocked at But she was shocked at how little surprised I was, and how, in her words, underreacted. She's a therapist, you see, though she's more of a beginner and doesn't have many clients, as she only got her degree a year ago, so she has a better understanding of mental health. When I told her my relationship with my brother and dad in greater detail, she told me I was conditioned to accept this behavior, and I needed to stand up for myself, not in the be a man for Christ's sake sense, just in a more respect myself kind of way. Thinking back on my life, I really thought about the crap I'd gone through and decided to get revenge. I don't know if that's what she meant.
No.
Gonna be honest with you, I don't know if that's what she meant there.
I really would be surprised if
she was like,
even a first-year therapist said that.
Yeah, she was like, you need to stand up for yourself. And he was like, I need to ruin his life. And she was like, no, that's... No. I convinced her to play along and to flirt back. She was very much against it, saying my plan wasn't a healthy one. But I decided I needed this, and this was how I would do it. She agreed and began flirting back, despite feeling awkward about it.
You just made your fiance do something she really didn't want to do and was highly uncomfortable.
Yeah, not cool, dude. Why are you roping your fiance into this scheme that she doesn't want to do?
Yeah.
You're an a-hole for that.
Yeah. Your brother sucks more, but like,
yeah, but you're an a-hole for
dude.
getting your girlfriend to do something she did not want to do.
Yeah.
Just because you need revenge. We decided we would do this to expose him. They kept this up for weeks as he got less cautious and more spicy in his comments. When asked about his wife, he told her they had an open relationship and he'd been with other girls. I doubt that. They agreed to meet up at a motel for a night of spicy sleep. I showed the messages to his wife, who I always got along with. She was someone who always stood up to him when he was being a knucklehead to me. As it turns out, he's been deleting the messages on his phone so she wouldn't see them. But deleting them doesn't mean they're deleted on Kelly's device. She told me he was leaving on a 3-day work trip, which was kind of true, except it was a 2-day trip. This is the juicy part I'll circle back to. After she got over the shock of the revelation, crying and breathing heavily to calm herself down, we agreed to catch him in the act. Kelly met with him for drinks and dinner before going back to the motel where we set up 3 secret recording devices. This is why do we need all this? Genuinely, why do we need all this? Because she already knows.
Right.
You already have proof.
You have the proof. We don't need to put your fiance in a room unaccompanied with him now.
Oh yeah. I thought they were just gonna have him show up and no one's gonna be there. Kelly's going for drinks, dinner,
and then
and
back
to the motel.
To the motel.
You're an a-hole. You're an a-hole. What? You're
Why
putting
is
your
Kelly-
fiance in a position
Yeah.
where she could be, harmed?
Right. When he finds out that this is what she's doing, when she stops,
Yeah.
presumably stops before this goes too far, he could really lash out at her.
They came back to the room and he began to touch her, to which she asked if she was sure his wife was okay with this. He said yes, they had an open relationship. She had another boyfriend and all. They began to talk dirty with him, taking the lead. Kelly went to the bathroom to freshen up, and he began to strip and got into bed. She came out and went to the front door where his wife and I were standing, and we walked in. He immediately jumped out of bed in a panic, asking why she was there and being lost for words, something I never thought I'd see in my life. We got into a huge argument with him, accusing me of setting him up, which I did, to be fair. He and my sister-in-law got into a huge screaming match with him trying to deflect and play this off, which is hard to do while you're currently getting dressed. We left. Now, here's what happened after. His wife filed for divorce, and after going through the system of getting lawyers and going to court, she used Kelly's text messages and the recordings as evidence. She even found more proof of affairs with other women when she was moving out. She tried to take his laptop, which he mistook for her own, and he got really protective of it, which seemed suspicious. He ended up smashing it. But she took the hard drive to a technician and recovered tons of recently deleted images of another woman who'd sent him spicy pictures. She ended up getting half his stuff and the house. Thank goodness they didn't have kids. And here's the juicy part I mentioned. Yes, he was supposed to leave on a work trip, but the thing is, he worked for her father's smallish business. That's how they met, as she would work there part-time while in college when he first joined. Well, after what was revealed, he was, of course, fired. With no home, little money, and no job, he ended up moving back into my father's home. He confronted me at my door one day, and I just reminded him of all the crap he did to me all my life, how he's the cheater, not me, and how he did this to himself. And by the way, what you can do is listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this insane story, but do you have any final thoughts?
So your brother sucked. Do I agree with the lengths to which you took this? No.
Yeah, especially involving your girlfriend.
Am I happy that you and his wife were nearby the whole time in case anything went wrong?
Yeah.
Yes.
But just literally so much of the night could have gone wrong.
That really stressed me out.
Yeah.
I have no words. That was kind of weird. Glad you got what you.
Yeah. Please go to therapy.
Please listen to
Please
your
go to
therapist
therapy.
fiance.
Yeah. Yikes. There's a little bit left. This was about 6 months ago, and I haven't spoken to him since. My older sisters said they were proud of me for finally getting him back, and they've been giving me some updates as I don't stay in touch with him and my dad. He still lives at home and works now in another job, which doesn't pay as much as his last job, but he had no other choice as no one was really hiring. Apparently, he's gained some weight and occasionally still badmouths me and his now ex-wife. But that's about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was wild.
I managed to outsmart my brother's fiance. Now her wedding schemes backfired on her. I'm currently in medical school and live across the country from my brother and family. I was surprised when his fiance asked me to be a bridesmaid because I barely know her, but she wants to have all siblings in the wedding. By the way, this comes from Educational Leg 1046, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I made it clear that their wedding was during my final exam week, and while I was able to get an accommodation to take my last 2 exams early, I still wouldn't be able to help much with planning or being present at things like a bachelorette party or bridal shower. She said this was fine. It would mostly just be to have an even number of bridesmaids to groomsmen and for pictures. There is a group chat that was created months ago that I would read through every couple of days to get updates on things I needed to do, namely to order a bridesmaid dress. Links were sent with 3 styles to choose from, and we would be updated on colors later. So a couple weeks go by, and I ask what color to order. Bride says she's still thinking about it. Couple more weeks go by, and she's still thinking about it. Then a couple more weeks. You get the idea. Now it's at the point that if I don't order this dress in a couple of days, it won't be here in time. So I ask on Saturday, what color? No response in the group chat to me. I asked again yesterday, Sunday, what color do I need to order? Then I'm flooded with messages lambasting me for not ordering a dress yet from her sisters and my sister and her. My sister called me, told me to get my crap together and order a dress already because my lack of preparedness is causing the bride intense anxiety because she doesn't think my dress will be here on time for the wedding. She texted me this morning, "Don't forget to order your dress. Love you," with smiling and kissing emojis. Still, no one had told me what color. I've scoured the group chat for a mention of dress colors or an image of a dress, but only the maid of honor sent a photo of her dress, and I don't know if she has a special color. There's thousands of messages, so it's not simple to find anything. Everyone else can meet in person, so I assume the decision on color was relayed in person. I can't tell if I'm being purposely excluded. About an hour ago, my brother called me, pleading with me to work things out with the bride because she's panicking about me. I tried to explain this to him, and he told me he doesn't care. It's a petty ladies issue. And since I'm not there for anything else, this is the least I can do because the bride thinks I don't like her because I wouldn't come to anything. He's taking her side. They know I'm in medical school. I have literally no say in my schedule, and I'm on the other side of the country, 5.5 hours by plane, and you freaking told them that you wouldn't be able to be a part of anything.
Exactly.
I'm fed up with them and contemplating telling my instructors the wedding was moved and I will take my exams at the regular time. I'd have more time to study that way anyway. I haven't told anyone in my family I'm considering this. Would I be the a-hole? I called my mother and asked her what the color for the bridesmaid dresses are. She said lavender.
Cool. Easy.
Okay. The only color option on the website that I would call lavender are named pearly lilac, periwinkle, and orchid purple. I text the maid of honor, bride's sister, to ask what dress color and got a multi-paragraph long lecture about not having ordered my dress yet.
Ah! Oh my gosh.
Basically, they're trying so hard to accommodate me being across the country by including me in the group chat. She said she didn't remember the shade name, but it's a dusty purple, then sent a blurry picture of a wrinkled order confirmation. The shade name was mulberry. On the dress website, that is a darker wine purple color. I told her this, and she said to order the lighter dusty purple color. I sent her a screenshot with a list of shade names and asked, which of these? She said she didn't know because everyone ordered the dresses so long ago and asked for pictures of the dresses in different shades from the website. So I sent screenshots of all the light purple colors. No response for a while, so I called her on the phone, which she was upset about because it's past 10 p.m. over there now. Her response was, "Look, I don't care what your problem is with me and my sister, but if you want to stay in good standing with this family, you need to get your ducks lined up, girly." I ignored the lecture and comments and asked what color.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. That's literally all she wants.
Me, of the 3 I sent, which one is it? Her. I don't remember. I'll have to ask one of the other bridesmaids for her receipt. I'll get back to you. I want to bash my head in the wall. I called my second brother, the one not getting married. He said they're pulling similar things with him, and he feels like he was deliberately given the wrong dates for the bachelor party by the best man, bride's brother, so that he would miss it.
Whoa.
He inadvertently learned about the change date the morning of, and when he asked the best man, he told him it must have slipped his mind to tell him. then joked that he wouldn't have missed much since he probably wouldn't enjoy any of the festivities anyway. They've been making closet guard jokes and comments to him that he's been ignoring, but he thinks they're trying to get him to back out of the wedding. So if we both back out, then there will be an even number of bridesmaids to groomsmen again. Only speculation on our parts, of course. Quick update. I was seriously considering pulling out, but the collective rage here and my mating motivation to study is me thinking, by this point, with how this post took off, I wouldn't be surprised if they find it at some point, so I don't want to reveal my cards just yet. Thank you to the comments that gave me the idea. I guess I'll be making an update mid-June if all goes to plan. And there are some comments and an update. What do you think OP's going to do?
I think OP's just going to buy one of the dresses.
Yeah.
It's going to show up. Then the bride is going to be mad because it's not the right color.
Yeah.
And she's going to be like, I freaking tried. I freaking tried.
Man.
And she's going to confront her at the wedding.
Yeah.
It'll be a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing.
Okay. Well, let's find out.
Let's find out.
Well, first there's some comments. Comment 1, not the a-hole, but I have a question. Were you and your brothers close at all? Because with what she's doing to you and your other brother, it almost sounds like she's trying to push you two away from the groom. Like it seems like she's purposely trying to make you and your brother look like clowns who couldn't be bothered to care or something. I am almost getting vibes that she is trying to slowly cut his family out of the groom's life. This is setting off so many red flags in my head. Maybe you should have a talk with your mom to see if there's been any other signs of her either isolating the groom or other signs of possible abuse. I'm not trying to jump to conclusions. She might just be a witch, but the flags are a-flying. OP says, I was never close with my older brother, the one getting married. Younger brother and I were outcast, nerdy kids, and we're always close. I don't think the bride is trying to isolate my older brother. She's actually quite enamored with my mom and sister. She's always posting on Instagram about getting mani-pedis with my mom or going out for a mom and daughter lunch and coffee, usually with some kind of sweet caption about how she can feel her mom in heaven acting through my mom or something.
Whoa.
And she considers my sister her twin like they were separated at birth. She likes half of us, it seems. And there is another update.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems like she just doesn't like you guys,
Yeah.
I would say, which sucks.
Right.
But yeah, that does seem to be the case. And
so silly.
seems like you have a plan. But my other advice is just to drop out of the bridal party.
At this point,
Yeah, I'd be
it's
like,
just,
you guys are, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm done.
I'm
And then you text your
done.
brother and say, hey, this is not petty bridal women stuff.
Yeah.
I am being mistreated and I'm not going to be a part of your bridal party.
Exactly.
Update 2. Thanks to some responses, I called the bridal salon and asked what colors were ordered.
Smart, but like, what a headache to have to go through.
Literally, all of that
Oh my
when they could have
gosh.
just told them.
Yeah.
4 dresses in the color Flint, 1 in mulberry. The maid of honor was setting me up to believe mulberry was the color of all the dresses. OP was so freaking right.
Oh my gosh.
They had a different dress for
They had
the
a
maid of honor.
Yeah.
So I ordered 1 in mulberry and 1 in Flint. I only let the maid of honor know I purchased a mulberry dress. I caught a red eye to be there for the rehearsal. They had a room to get ready in the morning and wanted all the dresses stored there. I show up with the mulberry dress. The bride begins crying because it's too late to fix it. She asks if I would be upset if I asked to drop out because mulberry is for the maid of honor. I pretended like I had made such a big mistake. I said, I know a girl that works at the salon. Let me call her and see if there's any way to make it right. And if it's not, I'll step down because I want you to have the perfect day. I show back up the next morning to start getting ready with the correct dress in tow. My friend looked in the back for me and they just had this return yesterday. What are the odds? Exact style, color, and my size. It's a sign. Silence. Then an awkward, that's amazing. Now, I'll be honest, I thought the revenge would be that they had to have me and my younger brother in the wedding and photos. I couldn't have planned the next part.
I'm so excited right now. Wow.
They had to explain to the makeup artist that there was an additional bridesmaid, meaning they planned from the beginning that I wouldn't be in the wedding.
Wow. So they're not just like being really annoying and not communicating. They like actually
hate you.
don't want her in it.
They actually
And
freaking hate you.
this was a whole plan.
The ceremony went fine. We took photos after. Then there was no place settings for me and little bro with the wedding party at the reception since they banked on 1 less bridesmaid and 1 less groomsman being present. The table was almost not long enough. 2 chairs had to be thrown on the end. We didn't get food initially because we were actually in the seating plan at other tables, so our plates were brought to those place settings. I can tell my brother, groom, seemed ticked off at the staff for seemingly not having things set up properly. But the bride and best man diverted his attention. Dude, wake up.
Oh my god.
Wake up.
Oh my god.
It's not the servers, it's your freaking wife
Yes,
now.
this is too many to believe that it's a coincidence.
Before he, the groom, left, he found me and said he asked the maid of honor why the settings were wrong, and he was told I asked to be dropped from the wedding party weeks ago, then showed up and demanded to be in the wedding. OP's got freaking proof, man.
Dude, for real.
She's got freaking proof.
She's got receipts.
I said I didn't ask to be dropped and showed him my phone where she gave me a thumbs up on the dress. He noticed the screenshot was not the dress I was currently wearing, so I said I had to last minute switch it out after confusion on the color. He seemed satisfied with that. They left on their honeymoon and my brother returned several days early alone. So you can guess how that went. And there is a final update, but oh my
gosh.
god.
This is so much messier than I thought.
Ooh.
Wow.
Dude, maybe if you had listened to the petty lady problems, you wouldn't have had to marry and then divorce your wife immediately.
Yeah. Wow.
Jesus.
This is so satisfying.
So incredibly
So
satisfying. You're
satisfying.
so incredibly stupid, my dude.
Wow.
Sorry, y'all, for such a lapse in time. I've been so busy with things for school this summer. Then classes started up again, and on top of that, the events kept unfolding. So it didn't seem like there was a good time for an update that wouldn't be massively lacking in some kind of a conclusion. That said, here's what I intend as the final update. Up first, my little brother's perspective on the wedding. He said that our older brother, the groom, had approached him early on and asked if it was okay if his friend was the best man. Little brother said he wasn't bothered by that. However, our brother's friends have never been very nice to my little brother, so he was prepared for more of the same kind of circus. Mostly teasing, name-calling, anti-gay language, used casually like it's 2005, and we call lame things attracted to the same gender, and have to preference everything with no homo. One of the things they started to do was call my little brother the feminine version of his name. Oh my god, your brother sucks. Your older brother freaking sucks.
Yeah.
Now, he did tell me some information that makes it more clear why a certain someone might have wanted him out of the wedding party. Basically, at some point, very strong but unreciprocated feelings were expressed to my little brother. Seeing how popular the story has become, it would be potentially identifying to give more details in case anyone involved found this. Even if someone is an a-hole, I'm not going to accidentally out them in a very public way. Okay, so someone in the groom's party was maybe interested in Opie's little brother. And then like try to get back at him. Beyond that, he said he was getting the cold shoulder in general and felt squeezed out from our own family. Apparently, at a family dinner with our parents, Mom said that the bride and maid of honor, bride's sister, were like the second and third daughters she never had. Our dad asked if she meant third and fourth daughters. So my own mother forgot she birthed me, I guess. Or she's terrible at addition. Not sure which is worse. Back to the wedding. The groomsmen/groom were set to go play golf in the morning before the ceremony. After the rehearsal night, when I had the wrong color dress and was dropping out, quote unquote, the best man called my little brother stating I had dropped out, and since he was set to walk with me, then he didn't need to show up to golf. But the next morning, they called him asking where he was, and said I had made a scene to be back in the wedding, so he was back in too. On the golf course, our older brother was annoyed with him and said he should have come anyway, even if I was being dramatic again. Little brother didn't mention that the best man explicitly told him over the phone not to show up. So that's what was going on with the groomsmen that morning. Now for the real update.
Oh boy.
Juicy. Our brother came home a few days early from the honeymoon and was staying in a hotel. It was hard even for family members he's close with to get in touch with him for a couple days. The public story, thanks to my sister doing damage control, became that he had gotten ill and came home early but told his wife to stay and enjoy the trip, and that their apartment plumbing is being renovated, hence the hotel. Again, this has gotten so public that I feel eventually someone I know may see it, if not already, and share it with someone involved. I don't want to divulge too many personal details, so I'll try to stick with what is mostly public information. After arriving home a few days after my brother, his wife stayed with her parents' home for about a week. It seems that some kind of collaborative effort on part of my mom and sister, and presumably her brother, got him to talk to her, and then they were back together. A week or so after coming home, they moved back into their apparently newly renovated apartment. Everyone ignored or forgot the fact that they didn't speak for a week. Then it's been all smiles and perfect pictures on Instagram, lots of sappy 1 month anniversary, 2 month anniversary, etc. type of posts. So at that point, I didn't have much to update on. Kind of boring to say, don't know what happened on the honeymoon, they're back together like nothing happened now. A couple days ago, there was a pregnancy announcement on her social media.
On social media, that's how you find out?
Something to note is my older brother has never wanted children, and especially not children genetically related to him.
Oof.
He is a childhood cancer survivor, and he's always said he couldn't stand it if it was genetic. He's very serious about this, as in he was considering a vasectomy.
Wow.
I recently spoke with my sister on the phone and mentioned how this was very strange to me that they're announcing a pregnancy. She said, and this is a quote, "Well, there's nothing for getting a pill here and there. Can't fix if you want to get your way, you know?"
Wow.
My response was that's basically spicy related abuse, and she scoffed at me for saying it's anything similar. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wow. Dude, let's just hope that it's not genetic and that
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Like, oh my
It's definitely a manipulative relationship. 100%.
She's horrible. She's horrible.
100%.
But you know what's not horrible? Listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. I still don't know exactly what happened on the honeymoon. I'm regretting not telling my older brother more at this point, but I'm also not sure that petty ladies drama over a dress color would have gotten him to leave her. Clearly, he put up with a lot of drama from her anyway. I am internalizing the guilt though, so I'm sorry this isn't a particularly satisfying update. And there are some final comments to finish off. Comment 1, your mom, sister, bride, and bride's brother friends are all such a-holes.
Mm-hmm.
She's essentially baby-trapped him after he explicitly said he doesn't want kids because of the possibility that they could go through cancer, which is true in some ways. People with a family history of cancer tend to get tested at an early age to make sure that they don't also have it. It also sounds like majority of your family are anti toward your brother. Coming from a bi person, even if they themselves don't make these comments, the fact that they don't stick up for him when others do makes them just as bad, if not worse. They are his family. They're your family. They're supposed to be some of your biggest advocates. Whenever it comes to family, if one of their friends says something out of pocket, it is their responsibility to correct it. They should be the person in between you and the friend acting as a buffer. I honestly wonder how your brother has stayed with that woman for so long. Does he feel like he can't get out because mom and sister love her so much? Has he been worn down to the point where he can't leave? Is he a prick who decides that the things she does to wrong his family aren't that bad, so he stays? At the wedding, it sounded like he was upset that the staff forgot about you and your brother, so it looks like he cares somewhat. But his behavior is so strange. How has he not picked up on this strange behavior? OP, I am truly sorry that this has been going on in your family. Your best bet is to take your younger brother and run, even though I know it's not going to be easy or possible right now. You two sound like you're going to be each other's support system throughout this, like you have been to this point. Has your dad expressed any kind of input at all on this, other than when he had to remind your mother of your existence? Which I can somewhat understand. I mean, my mom will call me by my sister's name when trying to get my attention. But given the context of what yours is like, I feel like there's more than just forgetfulness. I hope everything turns out all right, especially because there's now a pregnancy involved. If it comes down to it, you might just need to air out every single thing that has happened. Maybe your brother can make better decisions once he's hit with a brick of information. All of the lying, all of the gaslighting, the ganging up on the two of you, the huge elaborate plan to punt both of you out without actually saying it. And all because they're anti-gay and she wanted the aesthetic even pictures. The text sent by her friend admitting to making sure his wife got pregnant after they agreed not to for some very valid reasons. That betrayal of trust cuts so deep, I don't know how he could stay if he knew. If that fails, it honestly might need to be turned into a low/no contact situation to save you and your younger brother your sanity and well-being. Let them live with their effed up choices and drama-filled life once everyone knows all the details, especially your brother. And that is the end of that story.